The revelry begins early for this weekend, and so thousands gathered last night for what used to be called the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. The Florida football team, the first to make their way inside Alltel Stadium. As the faithful gathered to welcome them inside, fans of the other team making familiar noise. We welcome you to the Home Depot SEC on CBS. This afternoon, it's the Gators against the Dogs, meeting in Jacksonville. There will be 84,000 on hand for this annual meeting between these two bitter SEC rivals. The Gators 6-1 for the year, the Georgia Bulldogs 6-2, losers of back-to-back games at home against Tennessee and Vanderbilt, winners last week by 3 over Mississippi State. And good afternoon, everybody. I'm Vern Lundquist, along with Gary Danielson and Tracy Wolfson. We welcome you to Jacksonville. A neutral site featuring a game between bitter rivals provides one of the great spectacles in college football. And so this afternoon, one side awash in orange and blue, the other side a blanket of red and black, as these two teams collide in Jacksonville for the 74th time. This has been a series of streaks. Florida is the streaker right now. They have won 14 of their last 16 games, and this one is significant. If Florida can win out, they will win the SEC East, and they will go into Atlanta for the SEC championship game. Tennessee, of course, plays at South Carolina tonight. We mentioned the two Georgia defeats. They need a victory here, and then they need some help. But they will be pumped in this one because of the losing streak that they currently have had to encounter against this team from Gainesville. The Georgia Bulldogs, losers twice. The Florida Gators, losers once. And 84,000 are ready to welcome them, and here comes Florida. Here come the Bulldogs. Gary Danielson, let's talk a little bit about this Florida team first of all. Urban Meyer hired to bring them back to championship level. Going about it in a way I don't think we expected.
Well, not just us, Vern. I think everybody expected that Urban Meyer would come here and do the reason he was hired here, win games, and he's doing that, but have a spread offense and really attack. He had that spread at Utah and Bowling Green. But he's come here to Florida and found a lot of great athletes on defense, and he's riding them to a potential SEC championship, and none more important than Reggie Nelson. I think he's the MVP of the SEC. He's got great range, versatility, he plays on the special teams, speed all over this football field. He's that free safety spot. He covers up a lot of mistakes. Power, when he hits you, he's got it, and leadership. He's known as the eraser. Because if they make mistakes, and they don't make a lot of them up front, he erases them. I think he's the reason Florida has a chance to win.
Well, he is going against a Georgia team, as we mentioned, that lost 2 in a row at home, came back to defeat Mississippi State. They have finally settled on a quarterback. It's the true freshman, Matthew Stafford.
I think the word settle means he's getting snaps not just in the game, but in practice too. Matthew Stafford was supposed to be a phenom. You can see his talent when you watch him on the practice field and in the football games and on tape. He's not there yet. Which Florida player will give him some help? He's only a freshman. Will they block a punt? Will they cause a fumble? Someone on this Bulldog team needs to help this guy if Georgia's going to win.
Well, Florida, last outing, a bitter loss to Auburn. How have they responded? Let's go down to Tracy Wolfson for more on that.
Thanks, guys. Urban Meyer said his team was devastated after their loss to Auburn, but he told them that they needed to just move on and focus now on the SEC championship. To drive his message home, he handed each player a card. On that card was a quote from Danny Werfel about their loss to Florida State in '96, which ended their perfect season. Werfel said it just felt like the breath got knocked out of you. There was a lot of negativity after the game. To see those senior leaders change that was special. That was the key for us. To have been knocked down and get back up is a pretty special thing. Guys, it's these Gators who are now looking to rebound from their loss. Like that '96 team, they still control their own destiny in the SEC, and they still remain alive in the hunt for the national championship.
All right, Tracy, thank you. It could not be a more spectacular Saturday afternoon. And we'll try and bring you the sights and sounds in HD TV.
It gets somewhat redundant in this conference, doesn't it? Spectacular Saturday afternoons.
Isn't that the truth? A cold front came through last night, so we begin the day at 70 degrees. Georgia leads the series 46-36-2. That includes a Georgia win in Macon in 1904 that Florida refuses to acknowledge. That seems to go on.
A lot of these things.
A lot of them, yeah. No. We were playing club football then. I've never seen a team deny a victory.
No,
it's always a loss that's in the street. Here's the kick, and it'll be taken by the Gators at the goal line, Brandon James, the freshman from nearby St. Augustine, and he elicits roars from the Florida faithful as he takes the opening kickoff out near the 40-yard line. Brandon James, 5'7", 165.
And we saw this little guy break out against Tennessee when he almost single-handedly won that football game with his returns. He's played a little tailback, but you can see on the kickoffs and the punt returns, he is a weapon.
Ball is spotted at the 38-yard line. Here is Chris Leak. His fourth game as a starter in this series. He's 2-1. Leak steps back, gets a little pressure, pulls up, fumbles the ball. Recovered by Florida. That is the 5th fumble by Chris Leak this season.
Well, 4.5.
Okay.
That one was kind of questionable, right?
It was, yes. Oh, you're talking about Auburn.
Key to this football game, can Georgia put pressure on Florida, only rushing 4 people, maybe 5 at the most? They want to drop back in coverage, but they must have pressure on Leak. That was the key of why Auburn gave trouble to this Florida offense.
Loss of 1, second down, 11. Billy Latsko is in the lineup. This is Percy Harvin, the freshman, in motion. Gets the handoff, goes left. We're going to see a lot of him in the backfield today. And Harvin is out to the 43-yard line. Let's give you the lineups presented by Applebee's. The last true freshman to start in this series was Chris Leak. He won his first game 4 years ago. Up front, Troutwine, Tart, Rissler, Miller, and Metter. Baker, Cornelius, and Caldwell, the wideouts. Deshaun Wynn and Billy Latsko in the backfield. And in his second season, the head coach, Urban Meyer. 3rd and 5. Good protection. Leak finds the man open for the first down. At the 46-yard line, that's Andre Caldwell, who is playing his best football of the season in the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's just healthier, the reason. We saw that Alabama game. Remember, he had that little short pass and put it into the end zone. You give this offense some space to run it with those 5 wide receivers or 4 wide receivers in the spread offense, and you know Leak will complete it, and protection was the key. They kept Latsko in. They had 6 people blocking and only 4 rushing, and that created the time.
That's a nice early omen now for Florida. They were only 1 of 7 in third down conversions in that loss to Auburn. They're hitting 47% for the season. Here's the handoff to Harvin. Comes right. Somebody lost a helmet, but the ball does not come out. Defensively for Georgia, here's the way they'll line up. Johnson, Owens, Weston, and Quentin Moses, 2 outstanding defensive ends. The linebackers, Miller, Jackson, and Tony Taylor. And the secondary, Ramarcus Brown, Keelan Johnson, Trey Battle, and Paul Oliver. 2nd and 8. Head coach in his 6th season, Mark Richt. Caldwell in motion. Gets the handoff, sweeps, spins, and is down at the 40. It'll be 3rd down.
Ran that sweep from the spread, something that you will see this Florida team do a lot. How about this against Auburn? They rushed the ball against Auburn, Florida did, for 171 yards. 113 of those 171 were done by quarterbacks and wide receivers. That's the style of offense Urban Meyer would like to run. Wide receivers coming back in the backfield, snapping the ball, and running it from the spread look.
21 of 38. Leak back, leak pressured, inside go. It's caught by Andre Caldwell, and that will be another 1st down. So 2 of 2 on conversions in the early going.
And Georgia changed up that time. Willie Martinez, defensive coordinator for Georgia, said we cannot allow that to happen. This time 6 people come on 3rd down. You're going to see everyone inside, 6 here. Here's the breakdown. You cannot let the receiver get inside when you're man-to-man. Inside, kind of a push-off. Collision right there, but Asher, the true freshman, could not handle that one-on-one.
And here is the true freshman, Tim Tebow. Only 4 plays in the loss to Auburn. We'll see more of him today. And we'll see him do this. He is a bit of a factor.
You know, he came right up against the free safety that time and didn't even get off the track, because this guy, when he sets his eyes on where he's going, he does not deviate. He's tough. He's 6'2", 225 pounds, and watch as he goes right at Trey Battle. It was Trey Battle who dipped his shoulder lower, and Tebow, who ran right over the safety. Boy, that is just energizing for this Florida offense and their team.
Flag is down after the gain of 20.
Illegal substitution on the offense. Broke the huddle with 12 players, 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Florida is the most penalized team in the SEC. Beyond that,
they're 119th in the country. You know anybody else? Even your school probably is 118.
Texas Lutheran, now they're 120. And, they got a big game with McMurray today. 1st and 15 after the penalty was Tate Casey who was in there. And Chris Leak is back on the field. Here's Harvin in motion. The option. Harvin comes right to the 11-yard line. Maybe they'll spot this at the 12.
You know, Vern, oftentimes you hear, talk radio or the writers kind of question a game plan. But you see Harvin, right there, number 8, coming back in motion from the wide receiver. Then just kind of a speed option, very safe, pitch almost all the way. But after the game, Urban Meyer against Auburn, as he watched the tapes, he admitted, I did not use Tebow and I did not use Harvin enough in the second half of the game. He said, we will get them touches.
2nd and 8 at the 12. Florida loads up with 3 to the left side. Now 1 is in motion. That was Harvin again. Here's a reverse. They come right. This is Andre Caldwell. Gets a block at the goal line. Got it. Touchdown, Gators. Dallas Baker provided the block.
Option one way, come back with the reverse the other way. That's that spread offense that Urban Meyer was famous for.
Chris Hetland's extra point is up and good. 2 third down conversions in the drive. They overcame substitution penalty, and here's the touchdown.
Yeah, Percy Harvin, number 8, is the option man that could be pitched to, but watch Dallas Baker, number 81, right there. You know how long you have to hold the block on a reverse? Dallas Baker, the touchdown maker, is the guy that was the blocker on that one. Vern saw it, but it was easy to find. It was right in front of the touchdown.
Florida leads by 7. One year ago, Matthew Stafford was leading the Highland Park Scots in Dallas to a state championship. Now he's the starting quarterback for the University of Georgia. The 18-year-old gets his 4th start. He becomes only the 4th true freshman to ever start in this game for the Georgia Bulldogs. But how impressive a drive was that for Florida. This one out of bounds. Joey Eos kicks it out of bounds, and Georgia with an optimistic start.
Well, Florida tried to get a little cute there with a pooch punt down the sideline and was just a little wide. That's going to put the ball in great field position.
Stafford, the quarterback for the season. He's had 4 starts. You see the interceptions. That's been a problem. He's 3 touchdowns, 7 picks. Up front, Shackelford, Velasco, Nick Jones, Adams, and Inman. Bryant and D'Amico Goodman get the start outside. Milner, the tight end. And in the backfield, Craig Lumpkin and Sutherland, Brandon Sutherland. Hand off, they slip it to Craig Lumpkin, and he's out near the 38-yard line. This Florida defense has been outstanding this year. McDonald, Thomas, Cohen, and Moss, the starters up front. Crum, Seiler, Earl Everett are the linebackers. And the secondary, we've already featured Reggie Nelson, Reggie Lewis, Tony Joyner, Ryan Smith are the other 3. 2nd and 7. Left side, Earl Everett is up high to make the tackle. And let's go back to the studio for this Liberty Mutual update. Here's Tim Brando.
Vern and Gary, this is a huge game in the Atlantic Division of the ACC. On the first play from scrimmage, Reggie Ball hit, fumbles the football, picked up by Glenn Cook to take it in for a score. Miami with the early lead against the Ramblin' Wreck. Vern.
All right, Tim, thank you. Mohamed Massaquoi, who has had problems with dropped passes, thus earned a demotion for this game, is on the field now. And out of the spread, Stafford, full blitz coming. Stafford goes right. It's caught by Mikey Henderson, number 27, and he is belted by Tremaine McCollum.
The Florida defensive coaches circled 3rd down. They said, we got to get off the field. We've been doing a good job keeping them from scoring, but our offense is not getting enough plays. When you're playing zone, move up a little bit. When they catch it, make a tackle. It's exactly what Florida did.
So Gordon Ely Kelso is on to punt. 3 and out for Georgia. And Brandon James, who will occasionally light it up, is at the 20. Here comes the pressure. Ely Kelso has had one blocked. That was against Tennessee. James gathers it in at the 18. Out of bounds at the 26. That's a 42-yard punt, 8 on the return. Georgia most impressive with the opening drive. They've got the ball back. And we'll be right back. And now it's time for our Home Depot Tools for Success. Gary?
Vern, if you got new tools you just bought, you might as well use them, right? The new tools are Harbin and T-Bone. And that drive, those new tools were used on 4 out of the 9 plays when they actually got it. There's T-Bone's run. There's the option. And then they fake the new tool for the touchdown when they're going to almost pitch it to Harbin and come back to the old tool, Bubba Caldwell. That is the way, and that is the goal of this Florida offense. Now, think about this if you're Florida. They scored the first 2 times they had the ball against Georgia last year in this game. 14-0, that's all they got. Will they continue to attack? Will they slow down this attack right now?
Answer coming up. 1st and 10. Chris Leak. Take the snap from Steve Rissler. Harvin on the field. Fake it to Harvin. Leak rolls out. He'll tuck it and run it. Gets a downfield block from Bubba Caldwell. And Chris Leak, who is not known as a running quarterback, to put it mildly, gets a nice play on 1st down.
Well, good for Chris Leak. I mean, you really have to admire. I mean, I played this position. I don't know if anyone can relate to having to come off the field when it's your team, your senior year, and watch the new guy go in there and make plays and electrify the crowd. But this guy has been true to his teammates and true to his drive to win a championship, and I really admire his whole attitude about this football season.
You see the numbers in the previous 3 games against Georgia, 4 touchdowns. He's yet to throw an interception against the Bulldogs. He'll play fake it again. Looks deep, sets up, crossing pattern. One-on-one, and it's overthrown. There's a flag that is thrown at the 35-yard line. Intended for Dallas Baker.
Yeah, Paul Oliver had man-to-man coverage that time, and the same play-action pass, Dallas Baker was going to come across, and then they ran the corner off the cross out, and Oliver grabbed him.
Well, lip readers are enjoying this.
It wasn't much. It wasn't a huge collision, but since the pass was so close, watch, when Dallas Baker goes back out to the sidelines, just that left hand grabs his right hand grabs Dallas Baker's right arm, and that's what was seen by the back judge. Phantom, Vern?
I didn't see it.
Well, he grabbed his arm just a bit, and I think when you're doing it right in front of that back judge right there, he sees it.
So you don't think phantom?
Well, I wouldn't. If I was playing defense, I wouldn't like it. I gotta admit.
1st down. Timeout. So with a 7-0 lead and moving the ball easily thus far, especially when this big guy has the ball. Florida timeout.
Tim Brando in New York. Much has been made of USC's lack of style points so far this year, but they have been winning. Here you see Oregon State's Matt Moore taking it in from a yard out. Beavers lead in Corvallis. We'll keep an eye on it. Let's get you now back to Vernon Gary.
All right, Tim, the Beavers lead in Corvallis, but only midway through the opening quarter, and they're the Pac-10 standings with California, Southern Cal at the top, and Tim Tebow on the field. Here's Percy Harvin, so it's freshman and freshman. There's the fake, and Tebow goes left. He just did miss the stiff arm, and Paul Oliver comes up and makes a nice tackle.
Pretty interesting for Georgia's defense. Last year during the bye week, Florida kind of pulled in their oars and said, we're going to go tight end fullback. This time before the Georgia game, the Georgia defense has seen a much wider attack. More Tebow, more Harvin, more spread. Florida feels they have an advantage with the spread. They put younger players on the field for Georgia in their nickel package. Georgia's defensive ends, Moses and Johnson, must become factors.
Chris Leak back on the field, as is Harvin. Here's a quick flip out left side. That's in and out of the hands of Dallas Baker. Probably should have caught that.
Yeah, but if he would have caught it, that would have been stopped for no gain. Paul Oliver read that play very quickly, and he beat the quick tackle trying to get out there to block him on the play.
Tate Casey comes on the field for the Gators. Gary mentioned that Billy Latsko became a part of this offense in this game a year ago. So also did the tight end, Tate Casey.
Absolutely. I think this is almost a must stop. The confidence of the Georgia defense is down. They need a stop right here to regain that swagger.
3rd and 7. Baker out of the backfield, going left. 4-man rush for the Bulldogs. Leak in and out of the hands. It's incomplete. They do get the stop. Intended for Harvin. Asher Allen, number 2, defending.
I don't know if it was just enough pressure on Leak or that he felt a little pressure on his left side because he moved up in the pocket, a good throw would have picked up a first down, but I think just that extra fourth man, they were in a three-man line. Georgia brought that fourth man, and that caused that incompletion.
Now, Mikey Henderson is back. He's got a couple returned for touchdowns. Eric Wilbur, with the exception of the blooper against Auburn, has had a good year. That blooper was a block punt, the big play in the game, I think. And this one goes into the end zone and will come out to the 20.
First down, Georgia at the 20.
Well, at the Jacksonville Naval Air Station, an air show is underway. Those are the famed Blue Angels.
Then you can monster mash and do my graveyard smash. You'll catch on in a flash. Then you can monster mash. Mash. Ooh. Easy go. You'll catch with young.
Is he the best?
Hug of the sixth. He's been around since 1999.
The winningest, Uga?
Oh, yeah, not yet. Not yet.
Percentage-wise?
Percentage.
Technicality.
Number of wins.
Technicality.
Needs to last a little longer.
Hold on.
First down and 10. Matthew Stafford back. Deep right side, man coverage. A tussle for the ball. It's incomplete. Reggie Lewis defending on A.J. Bryant. Well, the whole Uga series with Sonny and Cecilia Seiler began in 1956. They've owned every one of them, and here are the percentages. Uga 4, 75%. Uga the 6, though. That's a...
Yeah. Uga the 6 had Mark Richt, though. That's a pretty good combination, right?
Yeah, but they had Dooley in there, too.
That's true.
You know. And this, Uga's real name is... What you got for us, Lauren?
What you got for us?
Second down. Stafford fakes the draw across the middle. Number 1, Massaquoi. He hangs on to this one, and it's a first down.
Well, what happens when you get benched a little bit, huh? You come back, you don't get the starting assignment, had 3 drops the week before, you come back, get the attention from the staff. Going to be the skinny post right here, a little play action pass, and now you're going to see why number 7, Stafford, was recruited so hard. Watch a zip. Before number 1, the eraser, can get there, that ball is 15 to 18 yards down the field. Unlimited potential for Matthew Stafford.
Massaquoi, who was a teammate of Chris Leaks at Independence High School in Charlotte, North Carolina, hands this one off to Lumpkin. It goes right. There's a flag down.
Number 6, Lumpkin, the ball carrier. Penalty marker down.
Tony Joyner, number 19, defending. We'll see what happened here. Face mask. Whoa.
Holding on Georgia.
Holding, I'm sorry.
You know, when you're playing against fast, skilled athletes and you're trying to turn the corner against these guys, you have to be so disciplined not to stick that hand out there and grab.
Holding, number 87 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat first down.
From behind, you think it's to the outside. Yeah, there it is, jersey. Boy, that doesn't take a lot of discipline. You're not supposed to grab the jersey like that, huh?
Martrez Milner, the tight end.
Brian Crum was the outside linebacker. The outside Sam linebackers lined up over the tight end all game.
So Georgia looks at first and 19. Matthew Stafford changing the play. Handed off to Lumpkin. They come left, and he picks up close to 5. Well, today there are 18 freshmen overall expected to start at quarterbacks. 6 of them true freshmen, and 3 in the Southwest Conference, although Tebow did not get to start.
Yeah, the Southeastern Conference right here kind of won all the recruiting battles because they had these 3 guys. I mean, I don't think, as long as I've been doing, I've ever seen 3 high-name, highly anticipated guys come into a conference that are as good as these 3 guys, and all have been doing as advertised.
You think old habits might be sometimes hard to break?
The Southwest Conference?
Southwest Conference, yeah. Half my life there. Here's a man open, and it's overthrown. Intended for D'Amico Goodman, and he had a step.
You know, I really like the game plan for Georgia. They're running the delayed draw from I formation. They're throwing from that, and then they're challenging Florida down the field. Anderson, freshman, was on coverage that time. You got one-on-one, big grass field in front of you, and number 7 says, oh, that big arm didn't work on that one. A little bit too much pop in it.
3rd and 13. Four-man rush, they stunt. Stafford sacked. Got him at the 25. Derek Harvey, who has come on with gale force effectiveness here, gets another sack. That's number 7 for Harvey.
What is it allowed? It's allowed to move Florida to move Ray McDonald in at tackle. And then Harvey and outside. The other way, Moss comes around. If it wasn't Harvey, it was going to be Moss that time. This Florida front 4 changes games. They absolutely force you to change games. Now, Florida feels they can block a punt here because they're timing out the center snap from the center. When the center lifts his head, they go 1-1,000 and go.
And they pull up this time and come back. Here's the punt, and it's taken at the 40. And the tackle made almost immediately. Martrez Milner, the tight end, number 87, who had an impact on that last series with the holding call. Take CBS Sportsline with you wherever you go on your internet-enabled phone. Access breaking news and in-depth stats. Get expert video, live scoreboards, and even manage your fantasy team. Click on mobile at cbssportsline.com.
Now, Vern, can Quentin Moses and Charles Johnson, the 2 defensive ends for Georgia, match that from Florida's defensive ends? They have to do that.
Here's the handoff. Percy Harvin, number 8, the freshman. Well, let's see what Quentin Moses did on that one.
Quentin Moses, who broke out last year with all those sacks, speed guy to the outside. He's going to take on Latsko, turn it inside, and turn it into the help inside where Dale Dixon makes the tackle. You know, as a defensive end, you got to rush the passer, but you also have to turn those sweeps inside. And that's why what Moses did on that play.
Gain of 1, 2nd and 9. Deshaun Wynn splits way wide to the left.
That's him way out there. Going to be a zone defense. That forces a zone defense from Georgia.
Harvin in motion. Leak under pressure. It's incomplete. That was Paul Oliver, number 8. Defending, it'll be 3rd down.
Boy, pressure again on Leak. That is exactly what this Bulldog defense needs. You know, they lost, you got to be honest, they lost confidence since that second half against Tennessee with all those points. A couple stops here against this Florida team, and that confidence comes right back.
Well, they were up 24-7 just before the half at home against Tennessee. Tennessee got a touchdown just before the break and laid a cool 51 on them. They then lost at home to Vanderbilt. Barely got by Mississippi State last week. 3rd down. Leak steps up. He'll run again. Looks for blocking help and is denied the first down as Tony Taylor, number 43, made a secure tackle. It'll be 4th down.
Absolutely did. It wasn't number 15 running, and you knew number 12 running. You can do it. Now, a 3-man rush from Georgia. Chris Leak needs to give that a little more time. You're rushing 3. You don't have to bail out quite as quickly on that. You got 3rd and long. You need to hope, depend on that offensive line. You know, a sack doesn't kill you when you're on the 45-yard line. Should have hung in the pocket and really played out that play.
Time called, Mikey Henderson.
Yeah, I think Georgia only had 9 men on the field, maybe 10 at the most. Well, they had 10. I was being a little mean to them. That was a good timeout. This is an important part of this football game.
10's better than 7.
Yeah.
Doubleheader tomorrow on CBS. 3 games early, 3 games late. The lead game, Indianapolis at Denver. I think the snow has moved out of the Mile High City. It was a little heavy this week. That's good for the resorts. JB and the guys. It all begins with the NFL Today tomorrow at noon Eastern time. And a 7-0 score here in Jacksonville. Eric Wilbur had his first touchback of the year on his previous punt. He might have his second here. And he does.
Wow. About a half yard away from being perfect on that one, wasn't it?
Yeah. And things getting a little chippy. And the eraser was right in the middle. Charles Johnson, I think, was the other participant.
Look at number one.
Nope.
He's all over the football field. Not only does he play safety and that could have been called for sure.
Yeah, Johnson, I'm blaming him. He was the referee there, Remarcus Brown. So it was 1 and 11 with 99 intervening.
Reggie Nelson plays the deepest safety I've seen in a long time. 15 yards deep because of his speed. He can move way back and then erase those mistakes from that deep position.
Here's the handoff. The ground game not affected in the early going here. Jarvis Moss, number 94, with a stop on Craig Lumpkin. Georgia was using 3 running backs, Danny Ware, Thomas Brown, and Lumpkin, and then Brown went out for the season with an injury, so it's a 2-man crew now. Lumpkin clearly number 1, and Danny Ware the backup. We've reached the end of one in Jacksonville, with Florida scoring on its opening drive. We'll return to Alltel Stadium after this message and a word from your local station. He was midway through his career then. He's still in the radio broadcast booth working this afternoon. And we begin the second quarter. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, and Tracy Wolfson. Second down and 9. Matthew Stafford with Lumpkin and Sutherland in the backfield. Play fake. Stafford chased right. Pulls up, chased, and caught. He did get back to the line of scrimmage, maybe got a yard, but Gary, that seems to exemplify what we've seen today, this difficult problem that Georgia has moving the ball.
Boy, it sure is. And I think what Georgia has to do here is not panic. I mean, it's hard to run the ball against Florida. We all know that. But if you give up on the run, then you get that front four just kind of a feeding frenzy. Continue run. Don't expect a lot of yards, but it keeps that play-action pass alive. But I think Georgia has to be able to play-action pass to move the football against Florida.
Well, they've got a 3rd and 7 here. Blitz. They toss it back. Oh, was that dangerous. Marcus Thomas was closer than Sutherland, the intended receiver.
You know, usually on this play, you look one way and turn back and fire the ball. Marcus Thomas was in a stunt to the outside. It was a called stunt up front. He just goes wide like this. Kind of an end game with Moss coming inside, and there, look, if that would have thrown directly to Sutherland, that would have been picked up. The Bulldogs dodged one there.
Another 3 and out for Georgia.
Head goes up with 1,001. Florida will go.
Now this time they've got the return on, and it's a fine punt by Ely Kelso. Brandon James at the 34 gets by the first tackle. Watch out. One man to beat. There is a flag.
Yep, early.
I caught myself saying there are flags. There is only one, and it's way back at the 37.
Only one is needed. Right now, Georgia's praying that it's on Florida. You can't hurry up and kick and get rid of a penalty like a replay. Florida's out there as fast as they can. That don't go.
Steve Shaw.
In the return, illegal block in the back, number 36 on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It'll be first.
That's the second time this year, Gary, that we've seen a Brandon James touchdown on a punt return wiped out by a penalty. He went 89 against Tennessee.
It was called, I believe, on number 36, Nick Brooks. Last time against Tennessee was very marginal. I don't know if I get a vision of it from this angle if I could see it anywhere. And that one I don't get it. Jarvis Jackson, number 45. Oh yeah, there it was, right to the right side of the screen. Happened a little later. Jackson had a shot right there, but not quite fast enough. 36, just a push, a slight push from behind. But when an official sees that body cross a defender from behind and any kind of fall forward, he's going to make a call.
To the relief of the Bulldogs and their faithful, it's still 7.
Tim Brando in New York with a get off the schneid update. Temple snaps its Division 1A 20-game losing streak today with a win over Bowling Green, which means Duke, a 45-28 loser to Vandy, now assumes the dubious role of having the nation's longest losing streak at 16 and counting. Let's get back to Vern and Gary.
I like that, Tim. We've got now, it's a sponsored element, the Get Off the Schneid update. Joining the Liberty Mutual update.
Duke's fortunes usually change around November when the round balls come out, don't they?
Yes. And North Carolina's do as well.
True.
First down and 10. 3 men down for Georgia. They're showing a blitz look, and they are coming. Quick flip right side. Good block. This is Andre Caldwell. There's a flag.
Well, I'm wondering if they called holding over there on that screen pass. Asher Allen, number 2, the cornerback, was locked up for that whole play on that one, and then there was a little pushing and shoving afterwards. Let's see which way this goes.
Holding, number 8 on the offense.
Yep, that's exactly what
10-yard
happened
penalty
on the
from
play.
the spot of the foul.
Percy Harvin,
First
true
down.
freshman against Asher Allen, true freshman. Quick screen out there. Right there is Percy Harvin, just one side in. Now he grabs Allen by this jersey. You can see that hand right there grabbing him. No separation on the play, and as Caldwell goes around the corner, they call holding. Vern gave me the dot up here in the booth. He said, yep, easy call.
I love it when we agree. Makes this a much easier broadcast.
Much easier.
First down and 15. Dallas Baker in motion. There's the toss. Percy Harvin. Harvin, the highly celebrated athlete, bothered by a high ankle sprain. We go down to Tracy Wolfson.
Thanks, guys. You spoke about Georgia's 2 big defensive stops and the confidence it gives them. Well, that was evident on the sideline. Defensive coordinator Willie Martinez telling his guys, keep putting your head in his chest. You look good. I love the communication between you guys. Stay low and keep it up.
All right, Trace, thank you. First down, the second down, and 11, a 4-yard gain. There's Quentin Moses, born and raised in the Athens area. Wanted to play basketball here. Jim Herrick, who was then the coach, said, you walk on, we'd like to see you play. He tried it for 1 year. And now, Urban Meyer was rushing down to call timeout, and he did get the timeout called.
Yeah, there was going to be an illegal formation called on Florida, and I think maybe someone up in the booth told Urban to call a timeout, or they would have got another penalty. Seen a lot of coaches. He's up to the top right there. Urban Meyer says, oh, no, we're going to get a penalty. And he got it just prior to the snap.
I'd give him about a 2.8 for the 20-yard dash. Needs to improve his quicks. We'll continue after this word from your local station. Jacksonville, Georgia's defensive troubles, Gary.
You can see it, and you can almost trace it right to that Tennessee football game when they just seem to lose confidence. And maybe sometimes it happens when your offense is not producing points. You try to do too much. You become trying to make every play instead of working at a team. Willie Martinez told us we need to work as a unit. They look like they're doing that in the game so far.
Second down, high snap, flip out left side, Andre Caldwell. And he's going to be short of the first down, knocked out of bounds at the 33. And let's spend a moment back in our New York studios. Here's Tim.
All right, Vern, to the Big 12 we go. Nebraska and Oklahoma State. Brandon Jackson is going to take it in, his second TD of the game. Now, with a win today, they will have the undisputed lead in the Big 12 North, having had Missouri lose, and Missouri comes to Lincoln next week. Bill Callahan's got them coming back.
Now the weather looks a little nicer there than it did last week in Lincoln for their game against Texas. 3rd and 5. Leak out of the gun. Lots of time. Left side, dropped by Jared Faison, number 11. It'll be 4th down. Now, just one more note about this Georgia defense. In 3 weeks, they've gone from number 1 in the country in points allowed defensively to number 27. That shows you that the hangover from that 51 against Tennessee was enormous.
And the trip from the penthouse to the outhouse happens fast, doesn't it? You give up a lot of points like that.
Eric Wilbur on to punt. Henderson is back, number 27. This one returnable, line drive, taken by Henderson at the 22. Out to the 27.
Return out to the 27-yard line.
45-yard punt and 5 on the return.
First down, Georgia.
Well, this one has settled down, hasn't it? 7-0. Touchdown on the opening drive. Here's Quentin Moses introducing himself to Chris Lee. Just in time for Halloween, catch a frighteningly funny episode from one of the funniest ensembles on television. How I Met Your Mother, Monday at 8, 7 Central on CBS. Again this season, America's most watched network. Now the beautiful views of downtown Jacksonville provided by Longhorn Steakhouse. The aerial coverage. Look for Longhorn Steakhouse as they team up with CBS Sports this fall.
I think I hit every one of those streets looking for the restaurant last night.
Well, you fortunately did not see the U-turn I made.
I know.
And fortunately, the local police department didn't see that one either. First down and 10.
1 first down in the game for Georgia all football game. Where are they going to find yards?
Danny Ware is in at running back now. Gets the handoff and runs into Brandon Seiler, and that's one reason they're not getting yards.
Yeah, you're right. The middle of this Florida defense. I mean, we talk about the end so much in the sacks, but Marcus Thomas and Brandon Seiler inside, the linebacker and the nose guard. These two guys right here. It's so tough to get to the linebacker because of number 44 right in front of him. You have to put 2 guys on number 44. Nick Jones, number 70, can't handle Marcus Thomas, and Seiler is free on almost every play.
Georgia has run the ball 8 times, 0 yards. Here's Stafford back, gets a good block on the left side, now comes out, sidearms it. Diving try, incomplete at the 40-yard line. That was Kenneth Harris, number 88. And it'll be 3rd and 11.
Mark Richt has a very calm attitude, and his team mimics it as this game goes along. 7-0 is not horrible. Inside again, there's Marcus Thomas. Watch it. Nick Jones this time is going to have to get help. Gets 2 guys on him. Jones slides, but they're sliding the protection to help on Marcus Thomas. One of the hopes that Neil Callaway told us, offensive line coach for Georgia, was they could handle Thomas one-on-one. So far, they haven't.
Here's Stafford pumps. He's going to be caught and dropped for the 2nd time today. Earl Everett. Georgia had given up sacks only 9 times coming in. Florida has gotten to Stafford twice. The Dogs will punt.
Watch Danny Ware, number 28. He has to take on Everett. Takes him on too far back. Everett runs right through the tailback to make the sack. Coming right off the corner and linebacker, Everett runs right through the blocking back.
And right into the arms of co-defensive coordinator Charlie Strong. 4th down. Brandon James at the 35. Gordon Ely Kelso, all-time leading punter in numbers and yards for Georgia. This one returnable again. James at the 34. Another missed tackle.
Imagine that. Greg Madison, defensive coordinator, had to beg Urban Meyer to take this guy.
I was just thinking the same thing. Played at St. Augustine High. He's only 5'7". Brandon James, a local lad. Second big punt return today. This one for 26 yards, and it stands up.
Tim Brando in New York. Coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, Spencer Tillman and Archie Manning will join me as we get you updated on all of the action. Antonio Pittman scores for number 1 Ohio State, and they've gone on to take a 10-0 lead with 5:24 to play in the second. Now back to Florida and Georgia.
All right, Tim, thank you. Georgia trailing Florida 7-0, 10-10 to go in the second quarter. I love the fact that Jack Nicklaus dotted the I at Ohio State today.
Yeah.
And here's Tim Tebow. Oh, it's Chris Leak. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, we both expected Tebow here. When he was effective, Florida ran it right down the field.
Leak goes deep. Caldwell wide open. At the 5, he's in for the score. Second touchdown today.
I tell you, we both might have expected Tebow. Maybe Georgia did too. What a beautifully designed play off play action. You hold the linebackers with the fake in here, and then you get the guy in the middle of the zone right there. To Caldwell, ball is thrown not too high, puts a little air on it, but not too much, and Caldwell gets it.
Chris Hetland with the extra point. Bubba Caldwell with the touchdown catch of 40 yards.
He's healthy, he's experienced, he's got his speed back, and he knows to find the soft spots in the zone, and Chris Leak throws it exactly where you should. You don't want to lead him too far on that one. You just give it to him and let him go from there.
Chris Leak, 5th touchdown against Georgia in his career. Now it's time for the playbook presented by the Hartford. Here's the Gary.
Well, this is the play behind the play right here. Dallas Baker, who's caught 8 touchdown passes in the last 8 games, goes upfield and wants the safety get outside the numbers. When you're playing that too deep, you want to stay inside the numbers, but he feels Baker to the top of the screen, gets out of position, and that's what creates that space for Caldwell to catch it and make the play. Number 25, Trey Battle, with a lot of experience, was going to number 81 on that play. He thought that's where the touchdown was going to go. And that Florida read by Chris Leak right in that vacant area got the 7 points.
And not the best tackle you'll ever see by Trey
but
Battle.
out of position when he got back, it was too late.
Here is the kickoff. A pooch kick and a fair catch taken to the 39-yard line by Brandon Miller, the linebacker. So Eos kicked one out of bounds earlier. This time pops it up, and the catch is made. Bubba Caldwell, broken leg, suffered against Tennessee last season, cost him the rest of the year. And it took him a long time to become fully healthy again.
When I went and watched fall practice before the season, everybody was telling me Caldwell was 100%. It did not look it. He looks 100% now.
First down, Georgia. They've gotten nothing offensively in this game. Stafford. And Reggie Lewis was defending, and whoa! A.J. Bryant gets up and tries a two-handed chest pass.
Surprised he got away with that one.
Me too.
You know, I just think the officials right now are just trying to stay out of the football game. Urban Meyer, what? That's obvious call. I just think they're trying to say, okay, emotions are running. This is a big football game. Try to stay out of it as much as they can. Slant pass. Lewis does a good job of not putting his hands on him. Oh, he kind of walks over him there, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Kind of walks over A.J. Didn't need to do that, and that's why A.J. reacted to it.
That's what precipitated the push. As they say in basketball, good no call.
Yes. I think it was.
2nd and 10.
Nothing.
Nope. Hasn't been there all afternoon. This is Danny Ware, and he runs into Ray McDonald and Marcus Thomas. Danny Ware, the number 2 back now for this Georgia football team.
Well, this Florida rush defense, helped by their sacks, of course, but it started out they were just almost controlled the football game. We saw that Tennessee game when they minus 11 yards against them. They've given up a little more yards lately, especially the Auburn game. It looks like that week off has really got them charged up.
Georgia 0 for 4 on third downs. There's their first. Martrez Milner, the big tight end. And he picks up the first at the 45, a gain of 17.
Well, that's the guy to stop in the Georgia offense. I mean, last year was Leonard Pope. This time it's Milner. Got the big catch against Colorado. And Martrez Milner catches one right in the middle of it. Stafford is not the weakness of this offense. It looks like the receivers are getting no respect from those Florida defenders. They are just in their face and challenging them on every play.
And again, they're playing press coverage up on the line. There's motion on the right side. This is going to cost Georgia 5. Chester Adams, number 67, moved prior to the snap.
Before the snap, false start, number 67 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
Vern, let's talk a little bit about what I consider the MVP of the SEC right now, Reggie Nelson. I mean, he doesn't just do it with his play, he does it also with his alignment. He's so fast and reads things so quickly. He lines up very deep, and it kind of gives the impression to the quarterback that you can't go deep on the play, and he starts deep and then comes up at the snap, just like that.
Does. Kicks out and got in the path of Muhammad Massaquoi. So Nelson affected the play and then did a matador move to make sure there was no contact.
Of course. Now, if you're the quarterback, you're eyeing him on every snap. You say, okay, is he going to be in the middle of the field? Watching him. Oh, man, he's just sliding over there. Now I hurry up the throw a bit. The receiver felt number one, saw those hits he made in watching the 6 previous games and said, I'm going to kind of slow down on that slant.
Second down. Stafford back. This time he goes deep, overthrows the intended receiver Milner at the 25-yard line. And Reggie Nelson back to affect the play. It's 3rd and 15.
Little busted coverage by Florida, and Georgia could not find the receiver on the play. Look at this. No one out here, no space on the play, and Florida kind of dodged one on that one.
3rd and 15. Matthew Stafford, I think, now realizes, what might have been. Across the middle, deep for Milner. Dropped it. That is so reminiscent of last year in this game. Joe Tereshinski III got his first start, and on the first pass of the game went deep for Milner, and Milner dropped it.
You got an outside release, go to the tight end, good route, good throw right over the line. That was a tough one, Vern, I got to be honest. Right over the outstretched linebacker, but you know what? There was a reason for it, because inside, Ray McDonald was coming right at Stafford on the play, and Ray McDonald forced that throw a bit high.
And so, 4th down. Gordon Ely Kelso. Brandon James, this one short. And comes to a stop at the 24-yard line. 14-0 here. Let's see what else is going on. Once again, here's Tim.
Vern and Gary, this is one our pal Archie Manning in the studio with us used to throw back in the day. Take a look at Reggie Ball. 46 yards to James Johnson. Not Calvin Johnson, James Johnson. And the Ramblin' Wreck draws to within 3 at home. Back to Vern and Gary.
All right, thank you, Tim. 14-0 here. You see Georgia Tech's ACC record of 3-1. And Tim Tebow has re-entered the game. He'll run. Well, Tim Tebow, born in the Philippines, but raised very close by. There's the Tebow home out on Interstate 10. Motors East comes in toward Alltel Stadium. And his mom and dad, Pam and Bob Tebow. Home game for them. Matter of fact, they had their first date at the Georgia-Florida game in 1970.
Worked out well.
Second down and 5. Tebow keeps it again, and he's at a third down. So who had to travel how many miles? Well, look at Mustaine. He's from Springfield, Arkansas. Went to Little Rock for a 56-mile trip. Tebow, 18 miles. Matthew Stafford, 1,071. Stafford mentioned earlier. Now these three met at the Elite 11 quarterback.
They sure did, and all three of them left high school early and attended spring practice. I don't think they could be playing if they hadn't come in early and gone through spring football. By the way, a rule I do not like.
Two flags, three flags. Procedure penalty. Looked like Carlton Metter, number 73.
Now look at Urban Griffin, his hand about that penalty right there.
False start, number 73 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. It remains
If
third
he
down.
had a visor, he'd have thrown it. I could just see that visor going down.
Now the old ball coach is getting ready for his game against Tennessee tonight, and Chris Leak is back in. Third and 7.
What a great shot.
Stunts, Leak, incomplete. Up at the 40-yard line, Andre Caldwell. And so, Florida will punt.
I tell you, again, I don't know if anybody can kind of realize what it must be like for Leak. He just threw a touchdown pass. And you got to get Tebow in the game, because we'll all second guess him, right, if he doesn't get to play Tebow. But now you go, okay, Chris Leak, save me. It's 3rd and 7. Come on back out on the field.
Right.
That takes tremendous confidence in your ability, and then biting your lip all the way. He's the reason. I mean, those two guys, you can't win without either one of them.
Eric Wilbur on to punt on 4th down. Mikey Henderson, this is a poor punt, but he gets a great Florida roll. That's like my golf score.
Yeah.
It's not. The scorecard doesn't tell you how you got there.
When that stretches it out, that means every game this year they have down to punt inside the 20.
59-yard punt. 40 on the roll. Time now for the question of the week. Who was the only true freshman Georgia quarterback to defeat Florida? Matthew Stafford today becomes the 4th true freshman to start. Only one has won the game. Matthew Stafford, a year ago, led his team to the 4A state championship in Texas. The Highland Park Scots. He threw for more than 4,000 yards. He gets some on this one to Milner. And it's a first down on first down, a gain of 16.
That's exactly the offense that Georgia needs to continue to run. Florida flows to every play. They come downhill linebackers. Their front four goes upfield. You need to give them boots, waggles. You need to run a little bit of that Auburn offense against Florida. If you don't get them moving the wrong way, you can't move the ball against this speed defense.
Milner limping a little bit as he comes to the near side. Trip Chandler is on as a tight end. It's first down and 10 at the 30. Stafford is 4 of 12. Gives it off in the dive play. And with 4:28 here, let's go back to New York and spend a moment with Tim.
Vern, the Cowboys getting a little closer to Nebraska. This is going to be Dantrell Savage. Strong run. Kind of reminds you of Vernon Marmsley there. That cuts the Nebraska lead to 16-13. Nebraska's just added a touchdown, and they lead it by 9.
All right, Tim, thank you. Second down and 6 here, a 14-0 Florida lead. Right side. Lumpkin with a lot of room. Near midfield. He's down at the 50 after the 17-yard gain.
Well, Florida has a great blocking fullback in Latsko, but Georgia might even have a better one in Brandon Sutherland, number 36. If you're going to run the ball at I formation, you got to follow number 36 because he comes up, play action pass again, isolation, seals it right there. Look at that seal to create all that space, blocking downfield, and that is exactly what Georgia needs to keep doing.
Bulldogs have a chance to go across midfield for the first time.
Can't give up on the run.
Right.
Cannot do it.
Quick setup, right side, good coverage, intercepted. Picked off by Ryan Smith. That's his 5th of the year. The transfer from the University of Utah, who played for Urban Meyer there 3 years ago. It was intended for Mohamed Massaquoi.
This is a misread. It's a bail technique. See how Ryan Smith turns with his back to the sideline? Stafford thought it was bump and run all over the field. It was not. It was a bail technique where he's inviting the fade pass to the outside, and he throws it right into the defense he should not have thrown that pass to. It's just inexperience.
Matthew Stafford has now thrown his 8th interception of the year. Ryan Smith picks off his 5th first down at the 25. Leak gets the low snap, goes across the middle for Baker. And in one quick play, Florida is out where Georgia just was.
He landed on his left shoulder. We've seen some of that, much of that with receivers. Inside technique, don't let him get inside. Turned completely around was Paul Oliver. When you're playing inside technique and a receiver turns inside and you spin to the sideline, your technique was busted, and that's what caused that play to be successful.
So Baker goes to the bench with a shoulder problem. 2:37 to go in the half. Leak with the option, keeps it. And is cut down as he gets to the 48-yard line. Ray Gant, number 90. Well, that last pass was intended for Mohamed Massaquoi, who played his high school ball at Independence High in Charlotte. 2 years ago during the off week before this game, Chris Leak went back and watched Independence High play. Last week, he went to Athens, Georgia, and watched Georgia play Mississippi State. Yep. And see Joe Cox on the right side. He's the redshirt freshman quarterback who also played at Independence High. He succeeded Chris Leak. Here's the handoff. Caldwell. Now let's take another look at Matthew Stafford, getting the start today as a true freshman, who's the only true freshman quarterback to defeat Florida. Johnny Rauch, 1945.
They go back a ways, huh?
Yep. I guarantee you the late Jim Lawhead took that picture.
Right. Tebow jump pass, too, isn't it?
Yeah. Speaking of Highland Park, where Stafford is from, that's where Jim Lawhead had his practice. Here's Leak, right side. Ingram with the catch. And we should mention the 2 other freshmen who started for Georgia in this game. Eric Zier in 1991. Quincy Carter threw for better than 300 yards. And they lost that one in 98, 38-7. That guy named Spurrier had something to do with that.
Pretty good with it.
Yeah.
Florida has 1 timeout left. Remember, they burned 2 with the cut. 1 time not enough players, and 1 time with a change up by Leak. So minute to go and 1 timeout.
Safety blitz. Leak comes left, pulls up, goes deep, incomplete. Fine coverage. It was intended for Kenneth Tukes.
Yeah, Remarcus Brown did a nice job that time. Did not panic on the play. Leak's coming out, sticks his hand in there, just gets his right hand in there. He didn't grab the receiver. You see so many players on that play would grab with their right hand and reach with their left hand. That time Brown stuck his right hand in there and there was no interference.
Good news for Florida fans. Dallas Baker is back on the field. And he breaks the huddle and goes to the right. 2nd and 10. 56 seconds to go. Blitz coming again. Leak chased right by Tony Taylor. Throws it away. Flag is down.
Penalty marker down.
Usually on those blitzes, they grab one of those linebackers or rushing players and get a hold.
Now we'll go back to New York for the Geico halftime report with Tim and Spencer, and it's always a pleasure when Mr. Manning joins them. Archie Manning will join Tim and Spencer for all the scores and highlights. Here's the flag. And Baker.
Number 63 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Repeat 2nd down.
That is Jim Tart, the left guard, who is, I think, from my favorite hometown of anybody in the Southeastern Conference. Jim Tart is from Sopchoppy, Florida. Sopchoppy.
We might have passed through there last night too. To tell you the truth.
Just trying to find a restaurant. I don't think it'll surprise you that he was a member of the 4F.
Right.
Future Farmers, the FF. Here's the Caldwell pass, left side.
Boy, is Caldwell good at that? I mean, they try to contain him inside. Very safe play that time. Quick pass to the outside, and he just breaks containment. He starts and stops so quickly. This was going quick screen all the way. Receivers are blocking downfield, and Caldwell breaks containment again. Now puts it in position. We're 3rd and short. Now that was, you had to make a decision if you were Mark Richt. Should you move him back? Well, it would have been 3rd and 10. Now it's going to be 3rd and 7. So they did not get enough of a stop, and this could be converted by Florida.
42 seconds to go before the break and 3rd and 6. Blitz coming again. Leak, good pass protection, and it's overthrown. Intended for Percy Harvin.
Now with the kicking problems Florida's had, they've only kicked 1 field goal all year. You wonder if Urban Meyer just says, I'm going to go for it here. I got a senior quarterback with an explosive offense. I got a better chance of picking it up with a play than I do of kicking a field goal.
2nd fewest among the 119. Utah State hasn't kicked one yet.
He's going to opt for the field goal, at least line up for the field goal. Use his last timeout.
Now Hetland has missed from 52 and 47 against Tennessee. He missed from 36 against Alabama, 36 against LSU. He made one against Auburn from 22 yards out. Al, after the timeout, Chris Hetland remains on the field.
Now we're going to come with Leak.
Chris Leak is on.
And interestingly, Georgia with 2 timeouts takes a timeout now. Urban Meyer could switch back and bring Hetland out again. See, by bringing out the kicker 1 time, it forced Georgia into playing safe. They don't know what's going to happen now.
Monday on CBS, a honeymoon cruise ends in murder. Don't miss Monday's #1 show, CSI Miami at 10, 9 Central on CBS. Again this season, America's most watched network.
Florida played out the whole commercial time, did not tip off whether it was going to be field goal or offense. Right before it, the guys merged and they came out in offense. I really think the percentages of a 50-yarder is low. You got a better percentage here of picking up the 1st down.
Chris Leak from the gun. That's Latsko in motion. Blitz coming. Leak goes left. There's contact made and no flag.
As intended for number 6, come on, come with
Jamel Cornelius, the intended receiver. Paul Oliver defending, and Chris Leak is limping.
Yeah, that was a miscommunication. Everybody came one-on-one everything, and Cornelius went one way and Leak went the other way. You're not going to get a pass interference call on an overthrown ball. Oliver's going to be to the outside right, just on the corner of the screen, and ball's overthrown. Clearly no chance for him to catch it. Leak got it right up the gut on that. It was just an all-out blitz, and he took it inside by Jeff Owens. Grabbed the left shin, didn't he?
Yes. Georgia has one timeout. They'll go from the gun. And they use the timeout.
The clock was running. I really don't know what they're going to try to accomplish. They're surely not going to run a play where a mistake could happen. I mean, as way the yards have gone in this half, Florida's dominated. It's 200 yards to 70. I would think regrouping might be the best idea for Georgia at halftime. One more look of that left shin. Looked like he ran off afterwards, though. I suspect he'll be okay. Kind of revs it up, a couple right there, rubs it one more time, and then, okay, runs it off.
And so 8 seconds remaining. Florida scored on its opening possession. Andre Caldwell on the reverse, and then Chris Leak, who has thrown for 117 yards in this game, found Caldwell for 40 yards in the second touchdown.
Well, I have to believe for Florida, this is a welcome sight, seeing this offense move in the first half. 42% of Florida's plays this year, their yards on the year, have come in 2 games, Central Florida and Kentucky. 42% in 2 games. They look like they got a little better offensive system going today. But Georgia cannot make a mistake on this play right here.
8 seconds to go. And they'll keep it on the ground. Lumpkin out to the 44. Tackle is made by Reggie Nelson, and we have reached the end of the first half of play. Florida has won 14 of the last 16. Mark Richt 1-4 in this series. Let's go down to Tracy Wolfson, who's with Mark.
Coach, just 81 yards of total offense. What adjustments do you need to make?
We just need to make some plays. We need to block up front. We haven't blocked well at all. Haven't had much going on in the running game. Unless they played cover 2, and you better be able to run against that. But when they've loaded up the box, we've not run the ball well at all. We've got to protect, got to make plays.
We've seen so many quarterback changes this year. Will you make a change at the half?
Oh, Stafford's not the problem. I can promise you that right now.
Great. Thanks a lot, Coach. Back to you guys.
All right, Tracy, thank you. First half ends with a score of 14-0 Florida. Let's go back to Tim Brando in our New York studio.
All right, Vern, coming up on the Geico Halftime Report, Spencer and Archie and I will all be here to give you all the action, including undefeated USC getting chopped down by a bunch of Beavers after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports presents the Geico Halftime Report. Geico.com. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Geico Halftime Report. I'm Tim Brando with the score in Jacksonville, Florida. It's Georgia trailing Florida 14-0. I'm joined by Spencer Tillman and Archie Manning. You know, Archie, I think Coach Rick got it right when he was talking to Tracy.
He exactly got it right. The offense is really struggling. I've always thought Georgia had great-looking tight ends. These tight ends have got to help this freshman quarterback. And like Coach Rick said, make some plays.
Yeah,
that's right. I think on defense, what they've got to do is keep that pressure on Chris Leak. They've shown that they can rattle him a little bit. And then, as you said, Archie, against cover 2, that's the weakest part of the field inside. Those tight ends have got to catch the ball in there.
All right, let's get right to the scoreboard, fellas. Minnesota and Ohio State. Buckeyes #1 with a bullet. And here's Antonio Pittman taking it in from 10 yards out. And Troy Smith is going to find someone very special to you there, Archie. Watch this.
Brian Robisky, son of Terry, in the end zone, 18-yard touchdown, 17-0 Buckeyes second quarter.
This is a very impressive Ohio State game against a Minnesota team that is struggling. Capito only 7 of 11, but 64 yards. And Pittman getting the job done on the ground. Now, the USC Trojans lost one of their all-time greats yesterday. Marlon McKeever passed away at age 66. He was a two-time All-America who played both offensive and defensive end, as well as fullback and punter. The undefeated Trojans are in action today against Oregon State, and they are struggling. Matt Moore is going to do the job for the Beavers. They actually could have scored a few more times, had a field goal blocked. He's going to get it into the end zone, and you know what? Spencer, they've got to get more running.
They know Lindell
USC
White,
team.
no Reggie Bush. They've got to find rushing yardage. Chauncey Washington providing it today, in for the score, put them up 7-7
Look at that, though. Mike Riley's team has added a field goal. It's now 16-7. It could be worse. John David Booty was picked off in the end zone, though that's his only misconnect of the day. Also, Michigan taking on Northwestern. Chad Henne, Archie.
Chad Henne fires in the end zone, hitting wide receiver Adrian Harrington on the corner route.
Northwestern had 5 turnovers today, 17-3 Michigan, and Bache was only picked off a couple of times, yet they lose 17-3. Auburn and Ole Miss. Watch Miko McSwain
sighting here on the reverse, number 40. You're wondering where this freshman phenom of a year ago is. Well, here he is, number 40. Take it in for the score, showing you some speed. Then coming right back, how about Brad Lester in for Mr. Irons? Dive in, big fella, in for the score. They had him up 14-10 Auburn at that point.
Another near miss for Coach O in Oxford, and 23-17 the final. In a game seen earlier here on CBS, Notre Dame against Navy.
Not many misses for Brady Quinn today. Finds Raymond McKnight, 33-yard touchdown. 24-14 Notre Dame in the second quarter.
How about this, though?
Now Brady takes it upon himself, runs it right up the middle, 19 yards, touchdown. Nice job by Brady getting it in the end zone.
Afterwards, like an Archie Manning fan, he praised his receivers.
You know, really, I'm fortunate to have some of the best wide receivers in the country, and anytime they're matched up one-on-one, you know, we view that as them being open. You know, we're going to throw that ball every time.
Something we need to discuss as you look at the final score. This is a thumping now by Notre Dame. USC is struggling. Ohio State is rolling. I'm looking at the BCS. You know, if Notre Dame loses USC, that's bad news. But Charlie may have gotten some style points today in the BCS.
Coach Weiss complained a little bit last week, and I think he did get some style points. Auburn barely won. I think West Virginia may make a little move.
Yeah, that's right. Those West Virginia Louisville fans are maybe thinking.
Log jam, all those one-loss teams. Maybe Charlie Weiss knew more than what we knew about this situation. And with that one-loss situation, there's a lot of teams now vying for a shot at that BCS championship.
All right, other matchups we need to tell you about. Wisconsin taking on Boston College 41-0 over Buffalo. In that victory today, they did not play their starting quarterback, Matt Ryan. Wisconsin comes from behind to beat Illinois 30-24, the final in that matchup. Missouri loses to Oklahoma. A couple of turnovers for Chase Daniel that were costly. 26-10 the final there. Keeping it in the Big 12, Nebraska holding on at the half. 23-20 against a tough Oklahoma State team. Over into the ACC we go. Miami and Georgia Tech are tied at 13. We could have as many as 8 two-loss teams in the Atlantic Coast Conference by the end of the day. Coming up, we'll have more action from around the country, including joy in North Philly as Temple is winless no more when the Geico halftime report continues.
It's where you live.
Back to the scoreboard on this October Saturday. It's Florida International Don Strock, who played for Don Shula on the sideline. He watches Mike Shula's team, John Parker Wilson, going to work here.
Yeah, John Parker tosses the ball to his halfback, Ron McClain, 10-yard touchdown catch. Crimson Tide up 7-3.
Javier Arenas has taken in a punt return for a touchdown as well. It's now 17-3 against the Golden Panthers for Alabama. John Bunning is out, obviously, stepping down at the end of the year. And watch this, Spencer.
Ronnie McGill in, tough yardage there. 100 yards in the first half for him, but overall this year, half the number of players rushing for over 100 yards at this point versus last year.
Tied up in the third, and the Atlantic Division standings. Remember, BC at Wake next Saturday. Michigan State taking on Indiana. Boy, the Hoosiers of Terry Hetner, really a story. Look at here, Arch.
Indiana's Kellen Lewis connects with James Hardy, 13-yard touchdown. Hardy's 4th touchdown of the day, setting an Indiana record for receiving touchdowns by one player in a game.
The old brass spittoon is with the Hoosiers. Temple break out the Owls. Look at Adam DeMichael connect here with Bruce Francis, a 45-yard score to give Temple a 21-7 20 straight losses. It comes to an end for Al Golden. The sweet taste of victory. 28-14, the final score there. Now Duke assumes the role of the losingest team with 16 straight losses. Be sure to tune in next Saturday for the Home Depot SEC on CBS. It'll be number 13 LSU and 9th-ranked Tennessee. It all starts at 3 o'clock Eastern when Archie Manning joins us again for TIAA Prep College Football today. And there's a lot more football action tomorrow with an NFL doubleheader. Most of you will see the Jaguars against the Eagles. Then later, most will see the Colts and the Broncos. It all begins at noon Eastern with the NFL today. Arch, thanks for helping us out today.
Glad to be with you.
We'll see you next week.
Be here.
All right. Thanks for watching the Geico Halftime Report. Coming up, the second half of Florida and Georgia. Enjoy the rest of the game.
CBS Sports presents the Geico Halftime Report. Geico.com. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Go Gators. Go Gators. Go Gators. Go Gators.
Go start a Fortune 500 company.
Go write the great American novel.
Go cure cancer.
Go to Mars.
Go Gators.
Visit GoGatorNation.com to continue the story. The University of Florida, the foundation for the Gator Nation.
Back in Jacksonville, Georgia won the toss at the beginning of the game. They deferred the option to the second half, so they will get the ball as this game gets underway in the third quarter. The game being brought to you again today in high-definition television. 14-0, Florida scoring on its opening possession, and then a mid-second quarter 40-yard pass from Chris Leak to Andre Caldwell. Joey Eos will kick off, and it's taken by Danny Ware, number 28. And the kickoff return goes about as well as everything else has for Georgia. A moment ago, Tracy Wolfson with Urban Meyer.
Coach, we saw Chris Leak limp off on that final drive. Can you tell us his status?
No, he should be fine. Dallas Baker has a shoulder too, but we need those two to play in the second half, and they're ready to go.
You controlled both sides of the ball. Will you make any adjustments in the second half?
No, I think we played fairly well on defense. Offensively, we just had a couple big plays. We're not playing very well on offense. We have to play much better.
Thanks a lot, Coach.
You concur?
Well, they put 200 yards up. I just think there were more yards out there. That's what Urban Meyer thinks.
Georgia has a first down now. The handoff, there's a fumble. That one is loose, and the Gators pick it up, and it is touchdown, Florida, Ray McDonald.
That halftime speech for Georgia didn't go too well, did it?
I think it fell flat.
Come out, keep it together, get back in a football game, and on a very safe play, you hand it off and cough it up for a touchdown.
In 1985, Ray McDonald Sr. wound up on the cover of Sports Illustrated because he caught 2 touchdown passes in Florida's win over Georgia. Ray McDonald Jr. just scored. Who knows? Maybe there's a Sports Illustrated photographer here. Here's a small irony. That is only the 4th fumble recovered this season by Florida. McDonald gets the touch. Back in Jacksonville, another look at the fumble.
Well, it was Derek Harvey right here is going to step inside Inman's block, and that's what causes all the problems. Lumpkin gets it, but there's Harvey reaching out to swat that ball with his right hand and his left hand, and then Ray McDonald gets it on the second bobble and dives over. Nightmare scenario for the Bulldogs.
And they find themselves trailing by 21 and will receive the kickoff again. Joey Eos, that's I-J-J-A-S. Look at the first possessions of the second half in the last 4 games.
Well, they should just stay out on the field. Change the Gatorade formula in there, I think.
Circle around, lads.
Yep.
We'll stay right here. Eos. Danny Ware at the 8. And he comes out near the 30-yard line. Well, Georgia trailing by 21. Now what?
Well, I had a speech all ready to go. You just got to stay in there playing. Well, we talked about an upset. Who would help Michael Stafford? Would they block a punt, recover a fumble? What Florida did is what Georgia needed to do. Make a play and get some cheap points. That has not happened, and I just don't know if against this defense if Georgia's going to find enough yards out there. They're just too solid on this defense for Florida.
Well, and as Mark Richt said, the problem is certainly not the quarterback.
No, it isn't. But because he's a freshman, I don't know if Georgia can run that whole offense that you really need to move the ball against Florida. You know, Eric Ainge can run an entire college offense. Can Stafford run that offense yet? I'm not quite sure.
He'll open from the shotgun. Flips it out left side. It's caught. Mikey Henderson out of the backfield. Nice first down play. Gain of 12. There was a holding call on the kickoff return. And here are the halftime numbers, Gary.
Well, you know, for Florida to put up 200 yards and a half, I mean, they've been struggling for yards, this team. We've talked about it. And this is the number 2 rated defense in the SEC in yards given up, Georgia. And as upset as Urban Meyer was, all of a sudden a 14-point manageable game turns into a 21-point potential problem.
Matthew Stafford. His 4th start of the season. 2nd in succession. Started and finished last week. Avoids. He's not known for his running ability, and he had a man wide open up at the 40, but kind of an off-balance throw.
Yeah, Matthew Stafford is going to really find out what it's like to go against a pass rush in the SEC now. He was going to let that ball go, but Brandon Seiler was right in the path of that throw. Comes out, expects to run, and then spots a receiver just a little bit too late to get it to him. I think it was Danny Ware.
2nd down and 10.
McDonald's in a tackle. Harvey's in an end. They're coming.
Stafford with time, goes deep, man open. That one is caught by Michael Moore, a sophomore from Fort Lauderdale. And a gain of 19.
Well, see, that's what protection, and that's exactly what Mark Richt said at halftime. Believe me, guys, it's not our quarterback. Now, I understand what he's saying, because if you can't block him up front, it doesn't matter who you put at quarterback. Give him a little time. Right there, he made a nice throw, nice touch throw.
1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. Georgia has been across the 50 one time. This is their 8th possession. Here comes the blitz. Pretty good blitz pickup, but the pass behind the intended receiver, and it might have been tipped. Well, Matthew Stafford committed early. Just to tell you a little about him. His mom and dad met while students at Florida State. He was born in Tampa. John and Margaret moved to Dallas, and he was raised in Dallas, started as a sophomore at Highland Park High School. A year ago, 4,000 yards, undefeated, first state championship for that school since 1957.
Yeah, and he admitted to us on the phone that if Mark Richt wasn't the coach of Georgia, he would not consider Georgia, and that's because of his ties to Florida State.
Considered Florida State, considered Texas. Here's the safety blitz. Stafford rolling right, chased by Everett. And Stafford has to throw it away, incomplete. Well, he led that team to an undefeated season in the title last year. They're undefeated again this season, despite the fact that Highland Park lost 22 seniors off of that team.
Yeah, and Matthew Stafford seeing the whole package now from Charlie Strong and Greg Madison. You got guys coming from every angle. This time it was inside with Everett on a blitz. And you know, Jarvis Moss, number 94, the defensive end, he was 20 yards downfield covering a back that time.
Greg Madison, co-defensive coordinator, Florida. Shares those duties with Charlie Strong. 3rd and 10. From the corner, Stafford hit from behind. Did he fumble?
Yes, he did.
Did Florida recover?
Yes, they did. And Moss, the guy that was in coverage last time, comes around the backside and hits it out of his hand. And Derek Harvey, number 91, picks it up. Moss, again, I can't even stress enough. He was dropping 20 yards one time and then comes from behind on a rush this time and gets it. And there's the other defensive end, 91, picking it up.
There's a small irony as well. Jarvis Moss played high school football for Ryan High in Denton. That's less than 20 miles away from Highland Park. They know each other, do Stafford and Moss. Keyston Moore on the field from scrimmage for the first time. Play fake, leak. Lots of time. Tate Casey, the tight end, is open. Down to the 32-yard line.
Leaks pass completed to number 84, Tate Casey.
Well, how about the Florida defense today?
Yeah, just as advertised, you better be able to run it against these guys, because if that front four gets involved in the football game with that pass rush, there's really not a lot of things you can do about it. And when you throw it, guys like Ryan Smith, Reggie Nelson are all over the football field, and if they start causing turnovers on you, it gets to be a feeding frenzy very, very quickly.
And it's a first down after the 13-yard gain. Harvin brings it back near side. And he's inside the 20.
Harvin, the ball carrier.
You know, that almost looked like a mistake, but Harvin was trying to time that snap, but coming back, here comes Dallas Baker. He does more than just catch touchdown passes, hurt his shoulder in the first half on that catch, and still out there blocking. Remember when certain people questioned the toughness of the Florida team? Looks to me that this Florida team now has decided that they are tough.
You realize Deshaun Wynn
touched it yet, has he?
Has not carried the ball today. Here's Leak. Looks deep for Baker. And he has to throw it away. Well, we were here for the walkthrough yesterday. I know you had a chat with Urban Meyer, and it was implied, if not explicitly stated, that Harvin was going to be a big, big part of things today.
Oh, sure. I think what happened is in the week off, and in fact, Urban Meyer said he called Rich Rodriguez, head coach at West Virginia, to see how he could get his guys involved. And what he said, we looked at every guy who touches the ball and what they do afterwards with it. And he said, we have to get the ball to our playmakers. And Harvin, I don't care if he's a true freshman or not, is one of our playmakers.
Second down and 10 after the incomplete pass. Harvin's back there. Here's the option. Leak. Not much he could do. It was played nicely by Charles Johnson, number 99. Harvin from Virginia Beach, Virginia. You made the observation to me that he's a little larger than that guy from Southern California.
Reggie Bush, I mean, is it going to be part two? He's got that type of ability. He was a running back in high school, getting used to the ball in space. Whether you hand it to him or throw it to him, he's a threat. And, you know, he's bigger than advertised. I think he is bigger as a true freshman than Reggie Bush was as a true freshman.
Had some issues in high school, was kicked off the basketball team, suspended as a matter of fact for his involvement in a fight. There's on third down, Leak. Oh, batted down by Charles Johnson, so number 99 a factor in that one.
Really tough to throw this wide receiver screen if you don't touch the defensive end. And this time, Johnson comes untouched on the play. Not even a wave by Troutwine right there. You've got to at least slow him down, or you're not going to get that ball out there.
And so we're going to see Chris Hetland. Chris Leak goes to the sideline. Hetland, as we mentioned in the first half, 1 for 5. The only one he's made was from 22 yards out. And he was 13 of 16 a year ago. Nope, doink. 1 of 6. It's amazing.
I was reading the SEC preview magazine before the game, and he's picked second team all SEC preseason. 1 field goal all season.
Bink. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Red Lobster, Vonage, Chick-fil-A, and by Toyota. Beautiful day here in Jacksonville. Life being lived on the St. Johns River. You know, you and David, Gary, thought you had the bus going back to Naples tonight. I got bad news for you. The bus he called, you're taking the boat.
That's not going to get there from here. That's a long way
trip.
around.
You might as well use the Panama Canal.
There's no direct access from there.
9:58 to go, and here's Georgia trying to find something that will work offensively. 3 turnovers in the game. Stafford across the middle. Brandon Seiler defending. Let's go down to Tracy Wolfson.
Thanks, guys. Florida's Percy Harvin and Tim Tebow lead a freshman class that is considered to be one of the best in the nation and also maybe one of the best ever at Florida. Before the season began, Urban Meyer handed out a card to each of the freshmen, and on this card there were 5 rings, 4 SEC championship rings, 1 national title ring, representing what the freshman class of '93 accomplished. He told them no matter how highly regarded they were, they haven't done anything for the Gators. So you haven't done anything yet, go out and prove yourselves.
All right, Trace, thank you. Here's Stafford back. And intended for Mikey Henderson. It's incomplete. Well, of course, that team won the national championship, and the Heisman winner was Danny Werfel. The coach was a guy named Spurrier. And 13 true freshmen have played in a game for this team this year.
Yeah, and not just played, I think contributed. And there's no way this team is controlling their destiny for the SEC championship without the true freshmen playing on this team.
And a true freshman at quarterback now, Matthew Stafford, in at quarterback for Georgia. 3 turnovers, last 4 possessions. Stafford.
Got a rocket.
You know, he can put it on the line, can't he? It's incomplete.
I don't know if he caught it, but it was thrown pretty nice. Happened right in front of Mark Richt that time. If he thinks he caught it, he can challenge it, obviously. Stafford's backing up. He feels the pressure all day. Throws falling to his left, but can gun it. There's no doubt about that. Puts it right there, and is that that hit the ground, didn't it?
Yep.
Another drop ball for Georgia's receivers that have been such a problem in the past couple of years.
And we are told that the previous play is being reviewed in college football. I think most of you know this by now, but we'll remind you every play is under review. And the 2 coaches each get 1 challenge per game. This is not a coach's challenge.
No, this one is, and I think this is good. The upstairs replay official needs to take a good peek at that, make sure it's a big first down for Georgia if the ball was caught.
Now, Michael Moore saying I had it, but I think this is the definitive view, and it appears, Gary.
Yeah, the ground helped him catch the ball. And it moved after it hit the ground, and in my mind, that's an incomplete pass. And remember, it was called incomplete also. The replay that has played such a big part of this SEC conference race so far this year, huh?
Well, I can, here's the call from Steve Shaw.
After review, the previous play stands as called on the field, incomplete. It will be 4th down.
So the punting unit comes on for Georgia. I think the most controversial review, which was upheld, the original call was upheld. That came 2 weeks ago in that Florida-Auburn game. Here it is. Chris Leak. It was ruled a fumble.
Yeah, his arm started to come forward, and the call on the field was that he was trying to tuck the ball away, and it was upheld upstairs. The worst part of that for me was that Urban Meyer had to take a timeout to get that review.
On 4th down, Gordon Ely Kelso back to punt. Gets it away, not particularly effective. Brandon James runs up and lets it go out of bounds at the 40-yard line. That's a 33-yard punt for Gordon Ely Kelso. Well, we've talked about 2 true freshmen. Here's one of the stars for this Florida team, Tim Tebow. This is a home game for him. Might we see him when we come back?
Toyota presents Heroes of the Fall.
I was a wide receiver in the 1973 Florida-Georgia game. And the game boiled down to a 4th and 8 with us, the Gators, on the 8-yard line, wind in our face, struggling offense. We had driven the field from the 20-yard line, time running down. It was do or die. Don Gaffney was our quarterback. He stepped back. As he dropped back, there was a blitzing Georgia player who got picked up by our guard, Burton Lawless, to knock him away at the last second, and Don let the ball fly into the end zone. And I was able to catch it, and gave us life and a chance to go for 2 and win the game.
Toyota, moving forward.
We have 2 Red Lobster Scholar athletes today. Georgia's Quentin Moses on the right, Florida's Chris Leak. Quentin Moses, a 3.13 grade point average, and a 2006 Draddy Trophy semifinalist. And for Florida, the senior quarterback Chris Leak with a 3.09 GPA. He is a 2006 Draddy Trophy finalist. Red Lobster's commitment to the investment of our future shown by donating $1,000 to Georgia and to Florida. And that Draddy Award will be a part of the National Football Foundation Hall of Fame banquet at the Waldorf Astoria in New York on December the 5th. It is regarded as the academic Heisman. Here's a note. With 8:25 to go in the 3rd quarter, Deshaun Wynn gets his first carry of the game.
Yeah, first of the game, we saw him against Tennessee get 100 yards in that football game, but it's been Harvin and the wide receivers and not much of this I formation that Wynn probably runs between the tackles a little bit better, a little change. And, you know, rushing, interesting point in this game, out-rushing Georgia in this football game under Urban Meyer. 17 out of 19 times he's outrushed his opponent. All 7 games this year, Florida has outrushed his opponent this year.
Play fake, Leak lobs it out, caught by Latsko, and he is popped up around the headgear by Keelan Johnson, number 30.
4-yard gain on the play, hit by number 30, Johnson.
Well, if you want to watch the action when this Florida offense goes, it usually goes through the fullback. He's either hitting somebody or being hit. And that time he was the being hit guy.
We've gotten so used to these Georgia safeties over the last few years. Sean Jones, Thomas Davis, Greg Blue, among the hardest hitting defensive backs in college football. I think it's an element they've missed this year.
I don't think they're as strong up the middle, even at defensive tackle either. It's a different Georgia defense.
On 3rd down, Leak pumps and fires. Oh, is it picked off? Tony Taylor might have grabbed that. He did indeed, and that is the first time in 4 games Chris Leak has thrown one to the guys in red.
Tony Taylor had a big interception against Vanderbilt to take the lead in that football game. But this time, an interception was needed so bad he's going to lock right there. Watch Taylor. He's going to be right there in the corner. He reads one guy, pushes out, and stays right in his area. He's playing space, not people. Leak thought he'd leave the space. He did not, came back and made a wonderful interception.
Tony Taylor's 4th pick of the season. Gorgeous day in Jacksonville and beautiful views from up on high being provided by Longhorn Steakhouse, the fixed wing navigating the skies to provide aerial coverage of today's game. Longhorn Steakhouse will cover selected football events throughout the season.
If Mark Richt has a package of plays that he thinks could get him back in the game, now is the time to unveil them.
Best field position to start a drive for Georgia today. Pass to Sutherland, the fullback. That's a nice start. Big play all the way to the 35-yard line. Reggie Nelson makes the tackle on the fullback.
Sutherland has been open probably more than anybody on the football team for Georgia. And more importantly, when he throws it to him, he catches it. Coming out, we've seen him on bootlegs. That was that ISO play and sliding him on the outside. One of the staples of the Georgia offense, and why when they're in I formation, they must run it a little, because that play is important to their offense.
Draw play on 1st down. Danny Ware. And a flag is thrown. This, well, let's wait.
Number 28, Ware, the ball carrier. Flag down.
Well, the BCS standings Coming into today, Ohio State #1, Michigan, USC, then a huge drop to #4, West Virginia, and then you began, for the most part, a run of teams with one defeat.
You know, everybody says the biggest game left on the schedule is Ohio State, Michigan. I think the biggest game left on the schedule is every time USC plays, because about 8 other guys are going to raise their hand if USC loses.
And USC is losing right now at Oregon State, 23-10, third quarter. And of course, Southern Cal has those 3 big home games against Cal, Oregon, and the Fighting Irish. Penalty, 5 yards, face mask, broken tackle, and Danny Ware slips through, picks up another first down. Reggie Nelson with the stop. Gain of 12.
Well, it was a combination here, okay? Turnover to get Georgia juiced up. First down, play action, safe pass to a sure-handed fullback. A penalty by Florida, and then you run the ISO again, and the only guy back is the eraser #1 to save a big play again.
This is by far the most effective offensive drive for the Bulldogs in the game. Here's Stafford under pressure. Finally pulls up, fires, is caught inside the 5, and another flag. 2 of them are down. Did he catch his own pass initially? That's it. Yeah, he did.
You know, Reggie Nelson that time in the secondary was cleaning out people like he was just taking names and numbers and knocking them down.
Illegal forward pass, #7 on the offense. By rule, you can only throw 1 forward pass on a play. He received the ball and threw a second pass. Therefore, it'll be a 5-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Loss of down.
All right, nice job of explaining it.
Yep, McDonald knocks it back to Stafford. Stafford goes, I don't want it. Can't throw it again and got nothing else to do, so he throws it again and gets a 5-yard penalty. On that play, Martrez Milner, the tight end, was wide open on the play for a touchdown, and Reggie Nelson, away from the ball, says, you are not running cross routes against my secondary. Keep your head up.
2nd and 21.
That could have been called unnecessary roughness, by the way.
Here comes the safety blitz from the eraser. Screen pass. This one might go for a ways. Back to the 13-yard line, Danny Ware. And let's go back to the studio for this Liberty Mutual update. Here's Tim.
Vern, you mentioned USC was losing. If you live in a beautiful village or a town that's name ends with Ville, you're happy right now. This is Sammy Strouder, a 70-yard punt return for a touchdown. It's now 30-10. 7:31 left in the third.
Oh, Timmy, well, they've been living life on the edge here for the last 2-3 weeks. It's 3rd down here, 21-0. Stafford changing the play.
5 across right here. Looks like man-to-man, and Florida's coming.
Quarterback draw. Stafford pumps it up the middle. Touchdown!
The line of scrimmage, no free safety in the middle, man-to-man coverage. They went with the quarterback draw. It was a perfect call from the bench.
Heady play by the 18-year-old from Highland Park in Dallas. And the extra point is good. 13-yard romp by the quarterback.
Yeah, spread them out and check to see where's #1. #1 isn't right here. #1 is over here. So he knows that he's got an opportunity with man-on-man everywhere. If he breaks the line of scrimmage, I can get there with space. Everybody's turned their head and get it in on 3rd and 6. A huge drive for Georgia after the turnover, helped by a penalty by Florida, and they've covered by a penalty from Georgia. We got a football game, 21-7.
We welcome you back to Jacksonville. 74th time Georgia and Florida have played in this city. And Matthew Stafford Grew up a Mark Richt fan and a Florida State fan, signed early with Georgia. Said he also considered Texas, Michigan, Southern California. One of the most highly prized recruits of a year ago. Here's Andy Bailey's kick. Taken at the 10 by Brandon James. And he gets out to the 23-yard line.
James with the return to the 23-yard line, brought down by number 46.
Matthew Stafford said he grew up wanting to play against Steve Spurrier and play up against Florida.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
How about Joe Cox, one of the backup quarterbacks right there?
Yeah. And Joe Tereshinski, the third, the senior. Tim Tebow, another true freshman, is on the field.
Remember last time he was in for 2 plays, he did not get a first down, and Leak had to come in on 3rd down. Since then, he has not been in the football game. False start. The 2 quarterbacks, that is really hard. Remember we were in the LSU game, that happened repeatedly.
Yeah.
14 penalties that day against LSU. And it happened again. Changing the quarterbacks has changed the rhythm, and there was a false start.
Before the snap, false start, number 63 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains first down.
7th penalty against Florida. Alltel Stadium in Jacksonville. Georgia and Florida, these bitter rivals, meeting here with Florida up 21-0. They were up 14-0 at the half. A fumble recovery, returned for a touchdown by Ray McDonald. But just a moment ago, Matthew Stafford ran one in after Chris Leak's interception. Here's Tebow and the pitch. Percy Harvin, freshman to freshman, going left, and a nice job defensively of stringing out the play.
Yeah, Keyline Johnson that time, number 30, the safety, came up. We were talking about those safeties. So big for this Georgia defense and this run of great seasons for Georgia. And that time Johnson comes up and makes the tackle. You got to string it out inside, and you got to run from the secondary.
Keelan Johnson with the tackle, 2nd down and 12. Tebow will keep it. Nothing there. Asher Allen, number 2, and Keelan Johnson defensively.
Yeah, I think Drew Miller, his guard, almost ran right over him. He can run over the defensive guys, but when he gets knocked unexpectedly from behind, Drew Miller knocks him down, and Willie Martinez says, I bet we get Chris Leak, and that's exactly what's going to happen.
Willie Martinez, the Georgia defensive coordinator. Charles Johnson, here's Chris Leak.
Yeah,
threw an interception last time out.
Can Quentin Moses or Charles Johnson force Leak into another bad throw?
Leak has to throw it away. 4th down.
Great changeup from Willie Martinez, defensive coordinator for Georgia. The expecting pressure. They drop 8, only go with 3-man rush. He says that's the way to do it. There was no one to throw that ball to. And remember when Leak scrambled out before against a 3-man rush? He hung in there that time, and there was nowhere to go. It's first time in the stadium today I feel the excitement in this football game. The Georgia fans now believe.
4th and 10, Mikey Henderson. Averages 17.5 per return. Eric Wilbur, poor punt, line drive. Takes a hop at the 47.
Hit the leg of a Georgia player. I think it was Johnson.
It's a turnover.
Yep.
How do you do?
4th turnover of the football game. This is a killer.
Oh my goodness.
When that ball is kicked short, you got to call it poison, poison, poison. I think it was Keelan Johnson, number 30, that got shoved into the ball a bit. Watch number 30, left side of the screen right there. It's Latsko. No, hits him. One bounce before Latsko even got there. Got to get out of the way. Mikey Henderson is calling poison on the play, get out of the way. But the crowd got loud, real loud, and Johnson didn't hear him.
And whom do you think recovered it?
Who was it? Number 1? Wow, he's all over the football field. He barely gets a breath. I was watching special teams yesterday when they were walking through every group they called out. He was on the field almost.
Georgia with 4 turnovers. Florida will have to use a timeout. Reggie Nelson. We've told the story before. His mom, Mary Lakes, in Melbourne, Florida, unable to travel to see her son play because she's battling breast cancer. I'll bet she's smiling right now. Coming up, the Wrangler 5-star play of the game. That's going to come to you later. Don't want to promise an exact time.
Yeah, we'll get it. So far, I think the fumble at the start of the second half, it's been all turnovers. I mean, I felt what Georgia had, of course, in this football game has been just the opposite. 4 turnovers by Georgia, a nightmare.
Now, this is a Georgia team that came in -3 on turnovers for the year, so they're now -7, 4 in this game. And the Florida Gators, 1 loss this season. That was 2 weeks ago. Had control of the game in the first half against Auburn. Wound up losing at 27-17. The last play on the touchdown of the last play meaningless. First down and 10. Leak pulls it back, comes right. Nice play. But Billy Latsko has to go down to his ankles. Can't hang on. Well, here are the remaining undefeated teams. This is as play began today.
Yeah, and what's happening with this thing right here, you know, this is the key one. All these guys down here are saying, oh, please, please, please.
And there are 12 teams with 1 loss among the group in that category. The guys wearing orange helmets right here and coached by that man. Chris Leak has missed 5 of his last 6, 1 of them intercepted. It's second down and 10. Harvin goes right across Chris Leak. Leak comes out to the near side with Janelle Cornelius. He gets a block from Bubba Caldwell, and he is down to the 27-yard line of the first down. And while we've got a moment, let's go back to New York. Once again, here's Tim.
All right, Vernon, Gary, that important game in the Big 12 North for Nebraska. They once led 16-0 here. Dantrell Savage with his second touchdown, John, a 20-yarder, and the Cowboys lead 27-23. Plenty of time remaining in the fourth. Vern.
Interesting day, huh?
Boy, the difference between these teams now it's just shrinking every time I watch a game. The difference between number 5 and 40 is nothing. 12 men in a huddle, they're going to get another penalty.
Violation on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, I'm going to be redundant here. There are 119 teams playing Division I football.
Yep.
118 of them have fewer penalties than Florida.
Right, they're well earned by Georgia, this stat. Another 12 men in the huddle again, and they've got 8 penalties. They've been averaging 9 a game, and they're a little bit above their average right now. Heading for their average, they got a full quarter to go.
First and 15. Keyston Moore, Billy Latsko in the I formation behind Chris Leak. And they try the reverse. It comes right side. Bubba Caldwell. Nice defensive play. Paul Oliver.
Number 500, Caldwell, ball carrier, tackled by number 8, Paul Oliver. Gain of 2 on the play.
Well, we've been talking about the difference, you know, what is there much difference between 9 and 8 and number 40? Well, last week we had an example of that. Number 9, Notre Dame played at home against number 40, UCLA, and you can see what happened. UCLA had that football game, stopped them on 4th down play. Notre Dame comes back and win the game, but Vern, I mean, you're seeing it. I mean, it's just a squeeze between these teams. There's 3 or 4 good teams, and everybody else is about the same.
Second and 13. This is Caldwell on the sweep to the left side. He's going to get to the 25-yard line. Well, I saw Charlie Weiss, the Notre Dame coach, and they won big today, but he was in his press conference after the win against UCLA complaining about the fact that his team dropped in the rankings.
Yeah.
One of them he was upset with was Florida. He said, what did they do? They were home eating cheeseburgers.
Exactly. Well, they're in the SEC and they got a chance to win it, so they're going to be alive.
Well, we've reached the end of 3 in Jacksonville. Our score 21-7 Gators. We'll return to Alltel Stadium right after this word from your local station. Blue Angels flying overhead through blue skies above Jacksonville. We begin the fourth, 3rd and 6. Here's Leak, right side. It's caught by Caldwell, and he is stopped at the 25-yard line, and that is going to set up a 4th down. Vern Lundquist, Gary Danielson, Tracy Wolfson. We begin the final quarter, a 21-7 game. Chris Leak seems to have slowed down a little bit.
I think he's like 12 for 25, something like that. If you would have told Georgia Leak is going to be 12 for 25, 1 touchdown, 1 interception, they say, we got a chance to win this game. Georgia's turned the ball over 4 times. I mean, you know, if you're going to stay in a football game against Florida, you can't turn the ball over, and that's what they've done. And let's see if Florida can kick a field goal, and looks like they finally do.
No, they don't.
Oh, it's spun out again?
No, they don't.
Oh, look at that.
I mean, it's a real anomaly. Chris Hedlund was 13 of 16 a year ago. He's now 1 for 7. And most importantly for Georgia, they turn the ball over on the muffed punt and don't give up any points. We've still got a ball game.
And now it's time for our Geico scoring recap.
Florida opened up the scoring on the reverse. Andre Caldwell got a great block from Dallas Baker in for the touchdown, 7-0. In the second quarter, it was Chris Leak teaming up with Andre Bubba Caldwell. This one 40 yards and a 14-0 Florida lead at the half. And then perhaps the big play of the game, opening the third quarter, Craig Lumpkin hit by Derek Harvey. Ball picked up by Ray McDonald. Touchdown Florida, 21-0 on a 13-yard quarterback draw. Matthew Stafford kept Georgia in the game, made it 21-7, and 2 missed field goals by Chris Hedlund have helped keep Georgia in the game.
Well, if Georgia's going to win this football game, they're going to earn it, because Florida has not given up a touchdown in the fourth quarter all year.
High formation on first down from the 25. Stafford, little flip out to his fullback. Sutherland catches it. Nice run.
That's how Georgia started the scoring drive last time. Went to the fullback in the flat, the same exact play. Try to get that yardage off the line of scrimmage, play action pass, slip your fullback out there. Look at Sutherland turn and handle that ball. Right now, Mark Richt is going, if we could just find some wide receivers to catch the ball that comfortably.
Yeah, the wide receiver impact on the Georgia offense this year has been negligible.
Yeah, and in this modern age of college football, if you don't have playmakers at wide receiver, look at Notre Dame, USC, you know, Tennessee, how can you make yards anymore?
About a foot, maybe less. Second in inches. Massaquoi is one of those wide receivers. High school teammate of Chris Leak at Independence High in Charlotte. But he kind of typifies the problems of this wide receiving corps for Georgia. He has suffered from drop passes all year long.
And it doesn't appear that you know, they got some guys that ran track and they did everything in high school, but don't look like they got game-breaking speed out here in the SEC.
Second and short. Nick Jones over the ball. Stafford hands it off. That's the fullback, Brandon Sutherland. USC struggling last time we heard. Let's check in. Here's Tim.
Part of the culture, Vern, in the Pac-10 is blown leads against USC during this 27-game win streak in the Pac-10. John David Booty to Fred Davis after a botched punt by the Beavers. But they've opened the fourth in Corvallis, and the Beavers are up by 16.
California Southern Cal undefeated so far in the Pac-10. First down and 10. Stafford sidearm. Found Sutherland to the 43 on first down.
How good has that defense been in the fourth quarter? Well, look what they've produced and the other team has produced. Not allowed a touchdown in the fourth quarter. They've almost outscored the other teams in the fourth quarter, producing 11 points themselves versus 19 given up.
Well, over the course of the year, this defense, including today's touchdown run, has given up only 6 offensive touchdowns. Remarkable. Here's the handoff to Lumpkin. It'll be 3rd and 2 or 3. Tony Joyner makes the tackle.
3 on the play. Brought down by number 32, Justin Dole.
3rd and 2. As a longtime observer of college football, I feel qualified to say this is a big one.
And if it comes real close on 4th down, might they consider it on 4th down too?
Didn't get it. Sutherland still fighting, but he didn't get it. It'll be 4th and a Mark Richt decision.
Yeah, less than a yard, it looks like, first glance. You know, you got to have help from that offensive line to get push on these plays. You just can't do it because Sutherland's strong. He squats a lot, he power cleans a lot, but you can't run through 5 guys. And Jarvis Moss is right there and saying, you ain't moving.
11:34 to go. Do you like this play?
I think he's got to do it. They're just not getting enough yards. They got to take their chance here.
They slip it to the fullback, and he didn't get it. Whoa. Let's see what kind of spot. This will be really close, and it's a right foot spot.
You bet. He sure did. Now remember, this is reviewable. First down plays are reviewable.
Oh, this is really going to be close. I think he got a favorable spot. And they will call the chain, obviously.
Interesting to give that ball to your fullback on that play again. You can tell who they believe in on these short yardage plays. Sutherland honks up in there one time.
Tough to see the ball in the...
Sure was. Spot was a first down.
Right foot spot.
Right foot spot from that side. Remember, this is reviewable, though. I don't know if we saw enough right there to even, you know, you can't change it from what we saw so far. Ground level shot at it.
A lot of bodies in there, Gary.
Yep.
Really tough to tell. There's the spot, and Georgia keeps possession of the ball. Stafford under pressure, has a man open, and he drops the ball.
Same guy. Martrez Milner, number 87, makes a good move on the play. Kind of gives a head fake. Watch him give a head fake on Joyner, comes across, ball is thrown perfectly this time. This isn't a one-handed catch. This is a two-handed bread basket. When you're down 14 points and you just made 4th and inches, you got to make that catch. And nobody knows it more than he does. I mean, I understand that.
2nd and 10. Blitz. Stafford has a man open. Massaquoi. First down, Georgia to the 32-yard line. Guy's got a gun. He really can fire it.
I haven't seen many people throw a football like this. Ryan Smith was on the coverage this time. Tried to get a little cute with Massaquoi. Tries to jam him. Massaquoi goes right around him, and this time the ball is thrown right at the number. Couldn't drop that one if you wanted to. It would have been embedded right in the 1.
Massaquoi is out after the 21-yard gain. Mikey Henderson goes wide to the left. From the 31, it's first down. Again, a play fake, again down the middle, and again a drop.
No. Got Chuck Knobloch disease right now.
You got to be kidding me.
Pass intended for 87.
Those are the booing fans of Georgia right now, wide open. Sometimes it just gets in your head, and right now, for Martrez Milner, it's in his head.
Now the backup tight end is Trip Chandler. Milner did not play in the last game, and now as he comes off, that's kind of a nice moment as the Georgia fans directly behind the Georgia bench give him a little bit of vocal encouragement. Lumpkin to the 26-yard line. The Southern Cal and Oregon State. Let's get more from Tim Brando.
Fellas, remember what we said about the culture of blown leads? John David Booty, 37 yards to Steve Smith. Chauncey Washington takes it in for a 2-point conversion. Burned 15 points in just over 3 minutes. It's a one-possession game with over 12 to play in Corvallis.
And I can just feel 12 teams with one defeat around the country.
Exactly.
The phrase, "you got to be kidding me," comes to mind. Here's Stafford. Flag down. Pass is thrown into trouble. Intercepted.
Yeah, there was a flag out there, but as Stafford tried to throw that away, he didn't get it out wide enough.
And the flag is at the 35. I'm going to bet holding.
You bet, because I'll tell you right now, Brandon Seiler's running off the field, pointing the other way.
Reggie Lewis intercepted it as Stafford did not get it far enough out of the field of play.
Personal foul, face mask, number 70 on the offense. That penalty will be declined. 1st and 10, Florida.
Well, it was in the offensive line.
Nick Jones, the center that time, who's been matched up all day inside against Marcus Thomas and Joe Cohen. He gets the call on the play. Referee makes the call. Now Stafford tries to throw it away off his back foot. And there's Reggie Lewis, comes right up there and gets a 5th turnover of the football game.
Florida's got it back with a 21-7 lead. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by Dr. Pepper Berries and Cream, State Farm, Applebee's Neighborhood Grill and Bar, and by the new AT&T. The Longhorn Steakhouse fixed wing is under the command of pilot Richard Clayton Slay. Longhorn Steakhouse happy to provide these aerial shots of today's game at Alltel Stadium. Downtown Jacksonville.
Well, this Georgia offense, boy, I mean, they got guys open, and you can see it is they throwing the ball to guys open, just can't catch the ball when they're open.
4 drops today. TIAA Crep postgame show coming up, time permitting. We've got 9:34 to play in this one. First down, Chris Leak. Rolls right after the play fake, flicks it out, caught. And a little tap dance at the 10-yard line by Andre Caldwell, who has 2 touchdowns today, one on a reverse and the other on a 40-yard catch. 2nd and 6.
The Georgia defense, even though they've given up points, we've been talking about that, came into this game ranked 2nd in the SEC in yards giving up, only 267 yards a game. And even though it's looked bad against the offense, they've only given up 263 all football game.
And Tim Tebow is on the field. Starts right, comes back left. Fumble, ball's out. That is a Georgia recovery.
The Tebow attack has not worked. 5 plays, 2 times first and second down, nothing, and now he comes in on 2nd down and coughs it up. It's just a safe up the middle play. It's hit. Gets hit just as he turns around. Danny Verdum Wheeler got it. Number 42, the linebacker from the Sauk side, put his helmet right on the football as Tebow was falling forward, and that's a fumble.
Wow. 2nd turnover for Florida today. Tebow. Keelan Johnson recovered it after Danny Verdun Wheeler made the contact. Timeout, Florida. That's the 2nd timeout they've used. They have 1 remaining. 21-7, 8 minutes, 58 seconds remaining.
The CBS Sports Desk is presented by the new AT&T.
Hello, everybody. I'm Tim Brando, and welcome to the AT&T CBS Sports Desk. A wild day in college football out west. Oregon State built a 23-point lead. Sammy Strouder on this 70-yard punt return getting the job done, but the Trojans have roared back. They're to within 8 points right now. Meanwhile, in Baltimore, Brady Quinn led Notre Dame to its 43rd consecutive win over the midshipmen. He threw 3 touchdown passes at this 19-yard touchdown run. And among the other BCS heavy hitters, Ohio State, Michigan, and Auburn all won. In boxing news, former heavyweight champion Trevor Berbick was killed in his native Jamaica early this morning by an assailant wielding a hatchet or a machete, according to local police. Berbick was 52 years old. And finally, about an hour from now, the Buffalo Sabres face the Atlanta Thrashers. The Sabres will try to set an NHL record by winning 11 straight to start the season. That's all for now from the AT&T CBS Sports Desk. Now let's get you back to Florida and Georgia.
The CBS Sports Desk is presented by the new AT&T.
21-7 here with 8:58 to go. 74th time this game has been played in the city of Jacksonville. You can see on the left, red and black. On the right, orange and blue. 50-50 split. 84,000 in attendance. And Matthew Stafford playing in his first Georgia-Florida game. Quarterback draw again. Scored on this play in the third quarter. And he gets this one down to the 8-yard line. Well, Martrez Milner has a day he will not soon forget.
Well, he thought last year was bad when he dropped the opening play of the game, the perfect pass. But today, that one was a tough one, but these last two have been right there. Tough one. Come to the sideline and give his teammates credit, though. They came up to him, and he's still on the bench.
Yes, he is, and a player is down. It's Joe Cohen, number 20. He's at the 10-yard line. Getting some medical attention. Cohen, the senior out of Melbourne, Florida.
It's like Brandon Seiler, the first time I saw it, might have got a hit on his own guy. Joe Cohen, one of those defensive tackles with the strange numbers for Florida, isn't he?
Yeah.
44 and 20 defensive tackles. £296. I guess you play defensive tackle when you're 296.
Looks like he might have gotten a little pop on the head.
I think it was Seiler, number 40, when I saw it. Got hit by his own guy. That's what it was. Yep.
Now Cohen on his feet now.
He's grabbing hold, isn't he?
Yeah. Point the direction and give me a little help. Oh, boy. Well, that's his high school teammate, Reggie Nelson. They played together along with Mike DeGore, the starting center from last year at Melbourne High. Little positive response from Nelson to Cohen as Cohen walks off.
Leading scorer on his football team is the fullback, Brandon Sutherland, number 36. He has been effective. He's been dependable. Will they be able to find a way to get him the football?
In other words, you think they're going to throw it to him?
I don't. Well, in the football game,
oh, well,
they'll do it.
Second down. 3 wide right. Stafford in. Oh, boy, that was dangerously close.
Yeah.
Numbers 1 and 1 had a near collision at the goal line.
It was a baited play right here. Florida was trying to get Stafford to throw that slant, and Reggie Nelson was playing the slant the whole way. Outside technique from the corner right here. He's going to invite it inside, and look at Nelson run right at the receiver, and that's a drop ball. He felt Nelson come, and he heard the footsteps on that one.
No, did he ever. A Bulldog became a Gator for just a moment.
Gator arms on that one.
Third down. Handoff right side. Toward the goal line. Touchdown. Craig Lumpkin with a surge at the 5. in for the score.
Two third-down plays, a quarterback draw, and just a zone read play. Give it and run it right up at Florida's defense for a touchdown.
Andy Bailey is on for the extra point. Gordon Ely Kelso will kick. Bailey in relief of Brandon Coutu, who's out for the season with a hamstring. Good. Well.
Spread formation, hand it off, run it against the best rush defense in football, runs right through the tackle by Earl Everett, and Georgia notches the first touchdown against Florida's defense in the fourth quarter this year. 21-14, Georgia's right back in this football game.
Back in New York, Tim Brando, after it's a short choice touchdown by Georgia Tech, gave them a 14-point lead. Miami's Kyle Wright, 41 yards to Greg Olsen. The tight end lumbers in. It's 30-23. Larry Coker desperately needs Miami to come back. Let's get back to Vern.
All right, sun setting here as well as in Atlanta, Tim. 21-14, sun hasn't set on these guys. Teams committing 5 or more turnovers have lost 74 of their last 77 games. The relevance, of course, is that Georgia has committed 5 today, and they won last week.
2-5. Maybe they got a formula finally.
It's a dangerous way to live.
Sure is. Has Florida, Florida misses field goals. They drop the ball on the 15-yard line. Georgia gives Florida free 7 points. It's been both teams giving the other team points.
Brandon James takes the kick, comes left. Oh, boy. Benjamin Boyd, a sophomore linebacker, number 57 with the tackle.
Watch James look back to see if he's in the end zone. He wanted to stay in the end zone. He found out he was on the 1-yard line. He lost all his momentum coming out and could never pick up the speed. That allowed, in that little glance back, that allowed that Georgia on-rushing cover team another 5 yards closer, and you can never get it going.
7:58 to go in the game, a 7-point margin. Florida has only 1 timeout left. Georgia, the full complement of 3. Leak hands it off. They'll go up the middle. Deshaun Wynn into the tackle of Jeff Owens, number 95.
2-yard gain on the play.
Second carry of the game for Deshaun Wynn. How about this, Vern? Second half total offense for Florida. Coming into that play where they gained, 5 yards? 59 yards in the second half. They had 200 at halftime, and Urban wasn't happy. I don't think he'll be pleased with 59 yards plus 5 more.
Same thing happened against Auburn 2 weeks ago.
Sure did.
Second and 6. Coming from the corner, and they pop Leak, but he gets rid of it right about the time he went down, and he is slow getting up.
You can't run the option well if you don't get hit as a quarterback. The only way to eliminate a guy is make that guy tackle you. This time, Leak makes that guy tackle you. Happened to be Verdon Wheeler again, number 42, but that's exactly what you have to do. You have to run it out and make someone take you. That's maybe the best option play Chris Leak's ever run.
You forced me to remind folks that you were a wishbone quarterback.
Yeah, it's first-hand knowledge.
So you're speaking from experience.
Yeah, exactly. You have, on the option, eliminate someone.
On first down, Leak back in the gun. Batted down. Charles Johnson, number 99. They tried to find Bubba Caldwell out on the left wing.
It's happened so many times. If you do not get this guy's arms down on that quick screen, this time, Troutman, you got to get him down quicker. You can't back up 3 steps and do that. It's just too quick. Those guys are too big defensive ends. You have to attack them at the line of scrimmage.
Not Chris Leak, 13 of 27 for 150 yards. He has not thrown for more than 200 yards in any of the last 4 games. The numbers have been down. He's gotten 1 interception today. 2nd and 10. Georgia does not appear to be coming. They're bringing 4. Leak in trouble. Shakes the tackle. Flag is down. Leak, or Caldwell rather, on the reverse. Got it to number 5. There's a flag back at the 17-yard line.
Yeah. Well, that wasn't a design reverse. It was going to be one of those sweeps again. Nothing was there. Looked like that flag was so wide it was either a tight end or a wide receiver to the outside. Another penalty. The most
penalized team in Division I gets another one.
It's supposed to be a sweep to the left side of the field or the bottom of the field for the TV viewers, and never got there. Caldwell did a nice job reversing his field.
Holding, number 75 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Troutwine.
Well, Troutwine couldn't block him on the quick screen, and this time he comes up and he holds, I believe it was the safety, Keelan Johnson, number 30.
Charles Johnson, number 99. Troutwine got him.
Got him too?
Yep. And so,
well, that was a stretch play where it never got to the outside on the play, and the whole Georgia bench was pointing back as soon as that play started.
2nd and 20. Steve Shaw again.
To 6 minutes, 25 seconds. 6 minutes, 25 seconds.
Vern Urbanmeyer has told us repeatedly he is not a fan of the new clock. Today, he's a fan of the new clock. He'd like this one to end right now.
Please start the clock. Well, this game really was kind of lifeless at halftime. And that quick drive by Georgia, highlighted by the 13-yard run by Matthew Stafford, ignited the crowd. Here's the handoff up the middle. It will be 3rd down. Tony Taylor, who has an interception today, gets a tackle on that play. Percy Harvin.
Pretty surprising, no pass plays called. I mean, it's been all runs here. Well, the first down pass out to the outside to Caldwell. Since then, they've been trying to run and pick up first downs.
Deshaun Wynn splits wide to the right. Leak in the spread. 3 down for the Bulldogs. They rush only 3, drop 8. Coverage. The pass complete. And Dallas Baker avoids the first tackle from Asher Allen, but he is stopped at the 26. It will be 4th down. Keelan Johnson, number 30, got there.
Georgia played great zone defense. They took advantage of the 3rd and 20 and just let it happen in front of them and forced Dallas Baker to catch the ball in the middle of the field, exactly where you want him to.
So the Bulldogs are going to get the ball back with just under 5 minutes remaining, and they have all 3 timeouts left.
Wow.
Mikey Henderson, if he gets a chance to return it, can scoot. Line drive, Wilbur with a poor punt, hops out of bounds. It does negate the return. But that's a 36-yard punt, nothing on the return. We go back to New York. Once again, here's Tim.
Vern and Gary, to sort out the ACC Atlantic Division. This is on 3rd and goal from the 4. North Carolina's Joe Daly picked off. John Abadi of Wake has it. The Demon Deacons continue their magical season with a 7-point win. They are now atop the Atlantic Division along with Boston College. Those 2 play at BC next week.
All right, Tim, 21-14 here. 4:50 to go. Blitz. Stafford, play fake. Got him. Brandon Seiler came right up the middle. Middle linebacker, number 40.
Play action pass. Georgia only sends out 2 people that time. Max protection. Couldn't pick it up. Seiler right there. Okay. Inside blitz. Comes free. Sutherland tries to get out late, but no time for Stafford to make any vision downfield.
Well, the last time a true freshman led Georgia to victory in this game, 1945. Oh, it's a pretty pass, but Massaquoi was well defended.
I thought I saw his jersey get a tuck on that one.
I thought I saw the same thing.
Ryan, well, that's why you said well defended. Ryan Smith ISO'd on Massaquoi. See if he doesn't grab his jersey just a bit right here. As he goes inside, there's the tug on the jersey. That could have been called.
3rd and 17. Only 2 men split wide. Play action. Stafford across the middle, Massaquoi. Defended again by Ryan Smith. It'll be 4th down.
Yeah, now Georgia has all 3 of their timeouts left, so with 4 minutes to go, they can punt this thing and get it back. Stafford with a gun. Throws it in there, and Massaquoi can't get it again. You know, it looked like Ryan Smith. Did he have his hand on his arm again there? Pretty tricky little corner by Ryan Smith. He's good. You know, if you can hold and get away with it, that's good coverage.
Now you think about the impact he's had taking advantage of the new NCAA rule, which allows a player to graduate if they, or rather to transfer if they have graduated. And he is a graduate of the University of Utah, where he played for Urban Meyer. 4th down. Reggie Nelson is now back instead of Brandon James. So here's Mr. Everything. Oh, dangerous catch. No flag, and Nelson's down at the 27-yard line. Flag comes roaring in from way downfield.
That Reggie Nelson is a gamer, isn't he? He has absolutely no fear. Ice water in his veins. The game's on the line. He catches it, turns it up. I want him on my team. If I'm choosing sides on the playground, I'm picking Reggie Nelson.
First. Now the discussion. Got very quiet here all of a sudden.
And you wonder if it's a late hit on Reggie Nelson, or is it a penalty against Florida? Everybody's kind of sitting around and waiting.
You got to tell Urban Meyer that's not a good look.
It's a half a visor without the brim, right?
We're not that far from Disney World.
There was no foul on the play. The low block was at the tackle. Therefore, it was a legal hit. It'll be 1st and 10, Florida.
And so, from the 27. Look at the big 3 rivals, Tennessee, Georgia, Florida State. Gators have never won 6 straight against these teams. Now, one of those wins belonged to Ron Zook.
Last one against Florida State, but Urban's got the other 4, and he's about 4 minutes away from getting one more, and a 1st down puts the game away.
3:45 to go, clock running. Leak under center.
Deshaun Wynn at tailback. Let's go at fullback.
Dallas Baker starts in motion. They give it to Wynn. He comes left. He's got some room. Flag again.
Well, you just can't make mistakes like that when you're trying to kill the clock, to kill the game. You got to get in the huddle and say, guys, anything but a penalty. Downfield, wide receiver, probably Dallas Baker. Was it Baker that went in motion? Or was it downfield, wide receiver for Florida? Didn't see the number that was holding on the play, but you just can't do that.
Holding, number 6 on the offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat 1st down.
Cornelius was downfield. I mean, you don't need a touchdown here. You just need a 1st down on the play. Left side of the screen, grabs the jersey. Saw it that time on Brown, Marcus Brown. All you need to do down now is get in the way.
Florida has reached double digits in penalties. That's their 10th.
That one would have iced the game, because that was almost a 1st down. Probably would have put the game away.
1st and 13 at the 25. Keyston Moore is the running back now. 2 men wide to the right. Handed off to Keyston Moore. And he is popped. Ball's
out.
loose.
Absolutely.
Who got it? Florida got it.
Wow. Is that the kind of safety hitting you used to see with the Bulldogs?
I think so. This was a linebacker, Tony Taylor.
And didn't Billy Latsko get the key fumble last year? Pulled out by Taylor. Latsko fell on it before, and Latsko got it again.
Time has been called with 2:55 to go. Dusk in Jacksonville as Georgia and Florida play here for the 74th time. Florida jumped off to a 21-0 lead after Ray McDonald recovered a fumble, scooted in from 11 yards out early third quarter. And now Georgia has fought back. They got a 13-yard run from the quarterback Matthew Stafford to cut it to 21-7. And then a Craig Lumpkin run after a Tim Tebow fumble. And here we stand with 2:55 to go. It's 21-14.
But what a heads-up play. Staying in the football game, no low. Billy Latsko's right over here. Watch him. He's going to go block, keeps his head up, sees the football, and gets it just an inch before. What a play.
Latsko, the one-time walk-on from Gainesville. And with 2:55 to go, second down 8, last time out, taken by Georgia. And here are the Gators try to go 7-1. If they win out, they will be in Atlanta for the SEC championship game. Baker. That gets to the 35-yard line. This is Deshaun Wynn, Jeff Owens, 95. And let's go back and check in once again with Tim.
All right, Vern, Georgia Tech sits atop the Coastal Division. Rushawn Jones of Miami muffs this punt. Chris Dunlap recovers it, and the Yellow Jackets hold off the Canes. Meanwhile, USC is driving against Oregon State, down 8 with 1:20 to play. Oregon State missed a field goal moments ago.
3rd and 3 here, timeout taken by Georgia. That is their second.
Well, here it is right here. I mean, make a first down, you win a football game. I mean, it's as simple as that if you're Georgia. Get a stop for Georgia, you got a chance to put your offense back on the field with four downs to make a first down.
Lineup tonight on CBS is as follows. Numbers followed by CSI New York and 48 Hours Mystery. That is the lineup tonight. CSI Steamboat Springs remains a project.
Really?
Yeah. It's in development.
It's next. Yeah. That's the next city.
Well, that's the franchise. 3rd down and 3. 2:49 to go. Matthew Stafford and his day today.
Well,
Gary.
the stats haven't been beautiful. 13 for 33, 2 interceptions, but he's been under pressure the whole football game. And you know what I like about him? He hung in the whole football game. Ran for a touchdown. You can see his tools. And remember, that 13 for 33 might look a lot different if 4 or 5 more balls would have been caught. They were right there.
And what he hopes for more than anything is one more chance. Now you can tell he's only 18.
Yep.
Chris Leak, the senior for Florida.
Remember against Tennessee, it was Deshaun Wynn that picked up the last first down against Tennessee. Shotgun formation, they just handed to him to the left side.
Leak with the option, they reverse it. Bring it near side, no way!
Face mask.
And a flag,
Face
this
mask.
might give Florida the first down.
Quentin Moses does a great job of staying at home on the play. But did he get the face mask accidentally on the reverse? How about that play, 3rd and 3 with the ball game on the line?
Yeah.
It was right in front of Mark Richt's face right there. He saw it just as well as I did.
Incidental face mask on the defense. 5-yard penalty from the previous spot. It'll result in a first down.
Listen, he followed his assignment, stayed at home, turned him in, made the tackle, and his hand slips up off the ball for just an incidental brushed against it. I mean, it was so small. I'd like to see it one more time. because that flag came from the Georgia bench. Let's look. Can we look at that one more time? Huge call.
Wow.
Has it on the ball, comes up and touches the face mask.
There certainly was never a grip.
You know, Caldwell helped it by turning his head to kind of almost influence the call on the play.
First down and 10. Barring a turnover, that should do it. Georgia can stop the clock one more time.
Wow.
Oh boy. 21-14. Time now for the five-star play of the game presented by Wrangler. Early third quarter with the call. Mick Huber of the Florida Radio Network.
Twin receivers to the left. Raley and Harris, and twins to the right, but it's a running play to Lumpkin. He loses the ball. It's a fumble, and the Gators are going to pick it up, and they're going to score a touchdown as the Gators got a touchdown by Ray McDonald, who picked it up and returned it for a touchdown.
That's the difference in this ball game, 21-14.
That and a lot of very close plays. Fumbles that were recovered by Florida, penalties that are about as close a hairline both ways, including that last one. I mean, the flag came out. Moses was right there, and you know, I mean, it was like his arm touched his face mask, but Caldwell jerked his head, and that's what got the call.
2nd and 6. Georgia out of timeouts. Hand off. Deshaun Wynn, he comes near side. And the clock will continue to wind down under 2 minutes.
Hope Georgia has a chance to get the ball back, but now it won't be with the 2 minutes to go to run an offense. If they get it back, it'll just be seconds to go.
I invite you to join SEC Tonight, Football Nation on CSTV at 7 o'clock Eastern Time tonight. They didn't start, I promise you. It didn't start right at 7. They're going to wait until this game is over.
You got it.
5 seconds on the play clock. 3rd down. Timeout. That is Florida's last timeout.
Timeout. Florida. That's their final timeout.
And while time has been called, let's go back to Tim in New York.
All right, Vern, John David Booty, after a controversial call on a 4th down play ruled inbounds to Steve Smith, gets the touchdown pass to Smith. The 2-point conversion is coming. 7 seconds left. Oregon State still by 2. We'll keep you updated.
All right, Tim, there are about 12 teams with 1 defeat around the country who can't wait until we get the final on that one. And here, 21-14, our Ruby Tuesday player of the game, Andre Bubba Caldwell. 8 receptions, 88 yards, scored on a reverse, and also caught a touchdown pass from Chris Leak of 40 yards.
Yeah, they were nice. Remember, the first one was off a play-action pass. Came on the reverse first in the first quarter of this game, and then the next one right down the middle of the field on a play-action pass. Caldwell's been used in a lot of different ways in this offense, with the wide receivers carry the ball as much as the running backs in the Urban Meyer offense.
And so Florida leads by 7 points, 21-14, 3rd and 4. Wynn coming left. Fights off the tackle and picks up a first down. Ramarcus Brown with the contact. And that contact was short of the first down marker.
Sure was. Looked like he almost ran through 2 tackles here on this one. Comes up kind of an arm tackle. He dodges one, and he runs over Brown for the second one. Deshaun Wynn, who's such a bowling ball type body. You saw him out there in practice. I mean, he's a huge body.
And a report from Tim in New York that USC did not convert the 2-point play. It's 33-31 with 7 seconds to go. There's the kneel down by Chris Leak. If they run the table, they go to Atlanta. They've got Vanderbilt on November 4th. at home against Steve Spurrier and South Carolina on the 11th. Western Carolina on the 18th. And then they finish up with another out-of-conference game at Florida State.
They also got the SEC championship, of course. Probably, Arkansas, maybe Auburn still, LSU still alive. And with that USC loss, if they run the table, they're going to be standing up and say, we deserve to play for the national championship. Georgia is going to make a strong argument. Florida's going to make a very strong argument about it.
Florida has got to be a part of any conversation.
Absolutely.
Among one-loss teams. Urban Meyer, Mark Richt. A show of mutual respect. And Chris Leak, 3-1 as a starting quarterback for the Gators against the Bulldogs. Mark Richt, now 1-5 in this series. Tonight's lineup, numbers followed by CSI New York and 48 Hours Mystery. This one turned into a good one, 21-14 for the 15th time in the last 17 years. Uga goes home unhappy. 21-14 the final for Tracy Wolfson and Gary Danielson. Vern Lundquist saying good night from Jacksonville. We'll see all of you next week from Tennessee.